have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of Hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of Hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. Q-Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable.
Wherever you go. To the news, you can sleep with the blues on this wonderful, wonderful station. Just take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio. Take a portable radio.
Now, here comes the music.
And now you can finally hear us. I just forgot to cue up the second part of the on-hold music, but we're back. It's Tuesday. You're here. Welcome to it all, everybody. This is The Show on Q-Talk America. I'm Clayton McKee alongside Marnie Ryer and Al Perkins. It is just the three of us tonight. Kat Carlson, she is suffering from the damned insomnia and is exhausted. I can't imagine. I mean, you've experienced it your whole life.
Oh, yeah.
Can't imagine. So hopefully, I mean, I venture to guess that if she just listens to this show for a while, she'll nod right off.
I try, but then I do something on the show like screech or squeal. I'm like, I'm awake now. What
How
the
do you
fuck
think
was
others
that?
feel?
Yeah.
How do you think?
You'd think I'd learn more empathy.
You should
But I don't.
You don't. You don't. Hi, guys.
Hello, everybody in the chat room. Welcome, one and all. This is show 342, 24th of April, 2018. This is the first day of season 7, the beginning of another year in the life.
Every year we think it's the beginning of the end.
We've been told that for years.
I know.
And yet,
For real.
here we is, still sitting here. My heavens.
I like it.
Hi, all. Once again, it is warming up a little in Phoenix. I've had the air on for, did I do it last night? I've forgotten if I did. I did last night too. Just well, it's gotten to the point where even the outside air temperature, it's not cool enough for me to sleep. I have to have a little something.
I broke down. Well, because of the allergies.
Yeah.
True.
I was a brave little kitten, and I was gonna sleep with the windows open. God damn it!
No.
It's the last thing I do.
Yeah, I might as well just shove dust up my nose, straight up there.
Yeah.
So finally, I was done, and Monday we put the nail in the coffin, sealed her down, turned
You
the
guys
air
are
up, and
great.
said,
I think I've had
"Fuck it."
that air on since, I don't know,
I've had the air on in the daytime.
end of March, maybe?
I've had the air on in the daytime,
Yeah.
but when it's time to sleep
Yeah.
overnight, I was convinced.
Sure.
You know, the nighttime, which I don't sleep at night very often. Most of the time, I'm up all
Yeah.
night.
Sure.
Oh no, I could still do
Well,
it.
that's what I don't understand, how you just turned it off.
If I had,
Because of sleeping
Oh no, in the
during
day, in the daytime I do. I don't sleep with the windows open in the
okay.
day. I'm not.
Okay, well,
if I had,
It's been 90.
God.
if this house was configured correctly for air conditioning and I had a newer unit like you guys have, I would have probably started earlier too, because I prefer. I like the fresh air. Don't get me wrong, but the fact that my entire house is beige now because of the layer of dust that from having the windows open all winter, and then we had a couple big windstorms earlier. Well, God, it's been windy as hell actually this spring.
That's the.
Oh, there you're right. It's all your stuff.
That's the allergies.
So yeah, I would have preferred to have had the little more of a sterile
We
environment.
just don't have any movement. Like, there's no movement.
No cross
Yeah.
breeze or
Yeah,
anything.
there's no cross breeze. It doesn't matter how many windows you open. It's just stagnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm like, Fuck that.
Well, that's why I've
Close
got
that
the whole
shit
house fan in the
But
back that I can
I'm
draw
so
it
excited
through.
that I made it to like April 18th,
Yeah.
19th. I mean, because there's no bitching about the weather when it stayed
No, you're right.
pleasant
Absolutely.
till the third week of April. Like,
Oh, right.
we're riding it out now till October.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Right.
about it.
Now, we've all has to.
You can only bitch in casual conversation.
right.
If you
That's
don't like it that much, then you gotta fucking move.
I'm still curious to see what's going to happen because of the new,
Don't let the door hit you.
the new APS. The power rates have all gone into effect now. And I haven't received my first bill since that change happened.
May I suggest lubricant?
Oh.
I've been reading online that a lot of people are pissed. In fact, are filing lawsuits against APS about it because apparently what APS proposed was going to happen ain't what happened.
No.
For those outside of the Phoenix area, that's the.
That's one of
Right, Arizona Power.
That's our
Source.
shadier of the two power companies.
Right, right.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm very curious to see what the bill is going to be but
Because the last thing you want to hear when you move somewhere is APS, and we only get satellite cable. And then
Right.
he's like, just shoot me now. Tell me there's a barking dog next door and a crying toddler.
Aaron has
We'll have the whole
APS.
fucking set.
And like every day the wind blows just a little, and her electric's done. It'll just
Oh.
and it's off, and then
From where
Are you
in her
kidding?
neighborhood?
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. It can just be a breeze. Where's
Something
the
happens.
electrical?
It's like living in Puerto Rico for her.
It is, yeah. Well, yeah. it
Actually,
is.
in the
As a matter
neighborhood
of
she's
fact,
in,
really,
kind
really
of,
is.
sort of.
Uh-huh.
I'll have to drive through there and
Yeah.
see how that's going.
Lots of tubas.
But it wasn't snowing.
That's that whole like bump, 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 bump.
Oh,
bump,
okay.
bump,
I mean,
all
the
the
no
fucking
power
time.
changes it to a third world country pretty quickly, too. But it has not been snowing. And everybody back east is having like one day in the 90s and then one day a foot of snow. Like,
Yeah.
True.
I have a sunburn, but I'm going to
Yeah,
shovel my
exactly.
driveway.
I have to.
Yeah.
It hurts when I shovel because of the
I
sunburn.
Yeah, sorry, Meow. We're not laughing at you. We're laughing with you.
Yeah.
A little bit. Oh, it's horrible. Though.
But yeah, we're here. The rest of the country, I mean, you're dealing with whatever weather you've got.
Well,
but
yeah, and
I think we're settling in
Jenny
now.
was saying that Kenya's flooded 70% of the country.
Oh, wow.
And I have to tell you, I honestly just read something, thought it was the exact opposite. That makes me a moron. I thought it was so many other things make me a moron, but I thought it said drought.
Oh.
Like the whole drought thing. So now I'm like, well, okay, well.
Well, the
apparently
unfortunate
that's
thing
better.
with flooding, if it was droughted previously and now they've got a flood, the unfortunate thing is, if they're flooding, the water has come so fast it will not absorb and
Yeah.
it will run off. That's the unfortunate thing
Got
about
it.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, they'll get some absorption, but not enough to help them really.
sure.
Yeah, dams are breaking. There's
The whole world's going to hell.
Well,
it says 5 more dead, but it doesn't tell me what the original number was. But you know, Godspeed
From
and
where? What are you reading from?
on about Kenya's
Oh,
storms.
okay.
Updated April 24th at 10:22 Greenwich Mean Time.
Okay.
So what was that 3 o'clock in the morning yesterday?
Something like
no.
that.
That's just
I'm guessing.
so insane.
Yeah,
with
what
that
is-
kind
is-
of weather?
I was just reading the chat room. I'm sorry. I was saying, is there a?
It had been.
Do you know of a death toll? Like he said that there were 5 more, but do we know? Is there something else that he's not seeing in Kenya?
Yeah, I'm with you, Jenny. I hope that Mina's floating.
Hello, Mom. I see you in the chat room. There you are.
Hi.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
by the
just
way, I
crazy.
will tell you, this past week, Mom, she texted me. I forgot what day it was. Was it Wednesday, Thursday? Just want to know if I was going to be home at a certain time. I'm stopping by and bringing something.
Oh.
Okay, you don't say no to Mom.
No.
She brought by a lovely assortment of banana nut muffins.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong there.
Oh no, it's fantastic.
No.
Yeah. So that was fabulous.
Nice. You cannot go wrong there.
Yeah.
Your mom knows how to cook.
She does.
Pretty fantastic.
Yep, I've eaten it.
Yeah. Right.
I'm living proof.
I gotta agree.
I love it. Well, look at that. We have a gay Pence.
Huh?
A gay Pence. A gay Greg Pence, maybe. Or maybe he just likes to frequent gay bars to,
See
talk
what
to
it's-
the gays.
See what the other side is doing.
Yes.
Or
to be
get it
like,
from the other side.
You're a bad gay.
Yeah.
it from
But can I have a
A
cocktail?
bad gay.
And I'd like a
and
gin
make
and-
it strong.
And a gin and tonic,
That's
please.
right. With
Yeah.
a twist. You're a bad gay.
I think
Come
we were
sit by
offensive
me.
to both sides of the argument there.
I'm a little upset.
Yeah. Way to offend both sides. So what'd you do this week?
So we're good with that. Well, I went to see The Color Purple.
Oh, you both
on,
have that in common.
Yeah, went last Saturday, and sat. The orchestra pit was out of there, so we were in row B, so we were like center, like 2 rows, just
Yeah.
from them,
Oh.
and it was really pretty amazing.
Where was that band?
That's what we were wondering. We were like, because we saw the conducting and whatever, and someone said, "Oh, it's still underneath over here." I don't think so. So I'm not sure. But Aaron,
Do they
could
have a
figure
full
it out.
pit?
They do normally,
Yeah.
but
sometimes,
this-
like the Book of Mormon, you could see the conductor's head.
Okay.
You could see him up there.
Billy Elliot, you can see the conductor's head.
Okay.
right
And this one,
there.
it was closed over, and when they have the ABC, that usually means like Rent or Chicago, where the orchestra is on stage.
right.
But this, we couldn't figure out where they were.
Was it behind the set? Like, did they
No.
have them
No.
upstage?
And they would be in a place where they could see in the wings. You know,
Yeah.
and from your seat, you should have been able to see both wings. We were at a
No,
loss, and
we
then in the
couldn't see
bows,
anything. There wasn't
in the
anything.
bows, they didn't gesture anywhere, which I thought was
Right.
very
Oh.
strange.
That's true.
Because I was like, well, we'll find out.
Yeah, that's very
and
true.
and we're certain it's not a track.
Oh,
No.
absolutely, that's illegal.
Uh-uh.
There's all kinds of union.
Okay. Well,
laws about that.
I know some shows have traveled with them.
Yeah.
I've seen shows that have tracks.
No, this was but it,
Yeah, not a-
God
not a-
bless
not a,
it, was
um,
it amazing.
Not a real Broadway run.
Okay.
That's verboten.
Yeah, it was really quite something. And I'm very frustrated about a certain character that was in the musical that did not get any kind of accolades, and that would be the fly that was flying around.
Oh, you're kidding.
It was unbelievable, and I was never more impressed with people in my life because this fly wouldn't go away.
On stage,
It was and I just sat there. Then, of course, squirrel. Right?
Yeah.
I'm like,
right?
I don't even know what happened in the fucking musical. I'm like, get the fly. But it was like landing as they were singing, and you feel something crawling on you, and you just want to.
They just held it.
Amazing.
It
how
added to the
they-
feeling of the Deep South.
It
Oh.
really, right? I mean, truly, like. But
Well,
it
maybe it's a
was-
union fly.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have looked up. Maybe it was someone
Is it in the
doing this.
Is it in the program?
But that's my point. Did not get any kind of.
Oh,
was
I
not
see.
the program. It needed to be, but there was the and then my mind just goes. It's fun. 48. But the
Wait to see 50.
Mister.
Yeah.
He just incorporated it from The Color Purple.
Okay.
The character he incorporated this fly into what he was his
There you
acting,
go.
and it was really brilliant. It was like you just kind of, but that drove me nuts. And then on Sunday, I did my first photography session with taking someone around to do their senior pictures. So that was kind of
fun.
Yeah, it was really kind of fun.
As the photographer.
Yeah.
Well, look at you.
Well, she's not the
Yeah.
high school senior.
Well, no, but I know maybe she was chaperoning
you
the
don't
event. I wasn't sure
know.
how that. But you were.
Sorry,
look
I
at
guess
you.
I should have asked.
29 Jump Street over
Yeah.
here, but yeah, so it was very fun. We went down to Indian Steel Park or Steel Indian Park, whatever I was saying,
Right.
and then we went downtown to with all the graffiti
Uh-huh.
Behind
down there.
like where Rebar is in the art district.
right, and
Rebar is the name of a local restaurant bar, ladies and gentlemen.
it really was just so much fun, like
Very fun.
so
That's
much
cool.
fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
So did you go
kinda-
out and buy all the equipment, do
Oh
all
no,
that stuff?
I have. I've had everything for a long time. I
Oh.
love taking pictures, and I've always done like the camera that my mom and Elaine got me a couple Christmases ago. Literally, I say I can go on the moon. Like I love to just go out at night and just chase the moon. I
Okay.
call it. Because the camera that I have, it doesn't have lenses that you can change out and do anything else, but you can get onto the moon. Literally, like you could see in the craters in the moon.
Okay.
And the different. It's amazing.
all
I
its
just
various settings. That's
love
cool.
it, Yeah.
And this is digital. It's not film.
And
correct?
did the high school senior know you were photographing them?
I don't know why you have to be so nosy.
Well, we got
Yeah.
phone calls from authorities. We
I
need
have to
know-
go.
we need to know what happened.
I feel like follow-up questions are
If you're turning
quite
me
important.
in. So the gal that the reason that it happened, the gal that cuts my hair, her daughter is graduating, and there were 2 people that backed out of doing it. As far, and not for valid reasons. They
Right.
had to.
Floods in Kenya.
They may have been that. You don't know, but they had to back out. And so she was talking about it and just said, so it wasn't like I was approached to do it, because I've never thought of doing that. But she was talking. She's like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to just go out like with my iPad or my phone or something, and we'll take some nice pictures, and it'll be fine. And I thought, well, that's horseshit.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right. So I said, well, do you want me to do it? I said, it can't be any worse, I don't think. And if it is, sorry.
You still got your iPad.
Wow.
Yeah,
you
you
really
still
should be
got
in
your
charge
iPad.
of sales.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, right? So, but it was so much fun. The gal kind of, I had never met her before, and that makes it kind of difficult to.
Yeah.
But it was very, very cool. We went because she seemed very almost introverted, and I thought,
Right.
But she just wasn't. I said, well, maybe try this, and I'm giving some ideas, and all of a sudden she was just bam, and I cracked up. She was just posing, and
Oh,
I
how
thought,
fun.
is she posing? Am I supposed to take the picture now? What's happening? And we found a lot of really great stuff at the Indian Steel Park. Lots of great stuff. I had not been to the other side of the park, like not where Pride is, not
Right,
where
yeah.
the lake is, not any of that, but to that other side where there's the bridge that goes across. I had never been over that. And we just kept looking down, and there are sayings for those that are outside of the Phoenix area that you look down, and they have sayings on the ground that in the concrete and in these other things. It really was. And the gal is Native American. So putting that together with some of these things that were written there was just
that's
really
very nice.
fun. Really fun. And so anyway, yeah, that was
Well, that's a fun day.
my super exciting 2 days, my weekend. Yeah, I had more than
Fashion
that.
mogul, photographer. I mean, there's
know.
just so many. We're branching out.
We have so many things happening.
Diversifying, I think, is what
Yeah.
they call it.
We're very busy.
We are.
Yes.
Very, very busy.
Yeah, and then of course, I have a girl going on strike
Mm-hmm.
on Thursday.
Thursday,
There's
yeah.
Strika.
Yep. So I need to figure out how I can truly best support her. I want to reach out to Danny and Summer and be like, okay, give me some
How did it go
pointers.
back there?
Yeah,
Are
give me
they-
some pointers. I haven't seen them in there yet, but you know what I mean? Like, because I keep looking, how can you best support your partner or your friend or
Sure.
the teachers? So
Water.
well, no, right? We're going to, because
I
it's,
think that's
were
good.
talking about walking
Snacks.
from the fairgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
It was the kind of thing that was supposed to happen on Thursday morning. Walk from the fairgrounds to the Capitol.
The state capitol.
What the fuck is wrong with you? It's 99 degrees. Maybe we shouldn't do these things, right? Like, maybe you should have a better plan. So now they're
Yeah, that's well, it's about a mile or two.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it's, I mean, it's decent enough in the heat that
Bring an
Yeah,
umbrella.
but you're
And they're gonna
going
be-
just up 19th Avenue. They can go right up 19th and
they
come
can,
right up.
but they're going to be in the heat all day.
I know, but the revolution will not be pleasant. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. No, totally. So,
Yeah.
but
You,
they
you can't cancel the march because it's going to be a little bit warmly.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And so they're
You got to prepare and
but they're going to be out there on the Capitol lawn Friday, Thursday, Friday,
Oh.
potentially Monday. Yeah.
Oh,
so
I
they're
didn't
gonna
realize
be
this
there
was a
all day.
multi-day thing.
Oh yeah. As of right now.
Because I did hear
yeah.
earlier something on the news that basically every school in Arizona is just shutting down because
yeah,
of this.
they're not even going to try.
Well, there are some of them that are staying open for breakfast and lunch,
Oh, yes, they were talking about that.
right? Because of kids with the free and reduced lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Might be the only meal that they get. So that was one thing I had thought of, was maybe going and helping volunteer there, because
Mm-hmm.
I know that would be a big deal to Erin,
Yeah.
to have
That's a good idea.
that done, to,
And I know that's
to
a
try
big
to
deal
help
in
that
her
out.
school too.
Well, and it's a big deal because these, forgive my rant, but these stupid motherfuckers, one more person comes out with that bullshit about, first of all, teachers having summers off. I
Right.
mean, let me just tell you how much they don't, right? I mean, they don't.
Right.
And how they're doing all of this for their own pockets. You know what? Let's not be silly. In part, certainly,
Of course.
certainly, but
People do things for the love of what they're doing, and then they do it because they want to make a fucking living. I didn't.
Right.
because they have.
I
to
didn't
make
go
a
to school to
living.
be a
And-
volunteer.
Right, exactly.
I went to school and
And
got
if-
all this education to be paid appropriately.
And if I'm not mistaken, a lot of it's coming out of their pockets because they have to buy so many supplies for their
Absolutely. Yeah.
rooms.
Absolutely.
and sometimes food for their students.
Sure.
Well, that's just it. Yeah. I mean, between myself and Aaron's mom and dad and Aaron, I mean, it's constant.
Mm-hmm.
There was a. I hope I'm not doing anything wrong here, but let's just say that there was a kiddo on Monday that had never had anyone really celebrate their birthday. Like, never paid attention. He's like, I don't even know if my mom knows when my birthday is. So Aaron went and got like a Costco cake and brought it into,
Yeah.
something. Like, these kids need something that
Right.
shows them somebody cares.
Right.
And the infrastructure.
I would like to know when
thing.
Cake Day is for the next month.
Also,
because I would just
good
stop in.
idea. Sure, I'll help cut the cake.
Sure.
Party clown?
What? I'll be
Oh, no.
there.
Not
No,
since the
not a
incident.
clown.
No. Fair.
You guys have, yeah, that'll be a story. I don't think that'll be good. But anyway, so it just, that part's driving me nuts. And I love, like, with Buddy Early in his posts, because he just wants to rip out everybody's throat that's doing that too, and it pleases me.
Yeah. Luckily, I have deleted
Yeah.
all of those people. Like, I have not.
Isn't
I
that
haven't read
crazy?
anything against the
Yeah.
teachers, and even like someone that I know that I work with that is, pro-Trump 115%, and makes fun of like victims of Harvey Weinstein or Weinstein,
sure.
whatever his name is this week.
Steve.
Had not was just like, I guess my kids aren't going to school Thursday, Friday. Like, no, like, fucking teachers.
Sure.
He also may have known his audience and been like,
Sure.
maybe this is not the time.
Not the time. Well, and the fact that people are so ignorant that they can't separate the 2 points of the David Garcia thing. Did you guys hear about that? Where
Refresh us.
So David Garcia is running for
Governor?
Governor. Sorry, I was gonna say mayor. Governor, and the Arizona AEA, right? Arizona Education Association. They came out in support of Garcia the day before or the day of, I don't know, but they crossed paths with the Aaron will kill me, the Education United,
Board of Education?
no, Education United, the people that are doing this Red for Ed.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And the fact that the striking kind of thing. So there are a whole lot of people on the right that are this anti-teacherish, anti-raise, anti-this and that are pissed off because they're looking at it like we're just that this whole thing is simply about supporting Garcia for governor.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Against Ducey. And going,
Well,
and it's like, come on. That is,
I also read a statement.
fucking dumb.
I read a headline. Excuse me. I read a headline, or was it a tweet? Whichever. That said, Ducey is dumbfounded as to why it's still happening because he gave them their demands.
Yeah. Well, I gave you everything you wanted.
Right.
No, you didn't.
Well, and but it isn't also by a. It's not instant. It's like by however many years.
Well, it's by 2020 that the 20% raise would come in. So there's a 1% raise that they already got. And I do that in air quotes because they were literally given $500, of which it was taxed.
Right.
And it wasn't a raise. It was like
A one-time
almost
bonus.
right.
Yeah.
So that's not real. That's not a part of your salary. And then they're talking about building it from there, like a X amount, 9% or something, and then going through 2020. The problem is it's not about the raises per se. It's about infrastructure and helping
School
with
supplies.
school
Textbooks that are
supplies.
20 years old.
Textbooks that are still talking about Clinton
Yeah. Just,
only.
sure.
Right?
All kinds
I
of shit.
mean, it really is absurd.
I still I appreciate the statement that I believe it was Emma Gonzalez who was part of the anti-gun
yes,
movement and everything
right,
that's been
right,
going
right.
on since the Parkland. Is that correct?
Uh-huh,
Parkland.
uh-huh, yep.
in one of the interviews, they were talking about the fact that all of a sudden they wanted to give all these hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever, the millions, whatever it was, to arm every school.
Yes.
And she was like, really?
Yeah.
Where did this money come from? You can't raise teachers' salaries. You can't improve the schools, but all of a sudden you got money for guns?
Right, exactly.
And I think the same thing. I'm like, all of a sudden, like, really? Where's all... Somebody's holding something back for a rainy day fund. Well, it's raining now.
Right. It's boring.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Ask Kenya. You know.
Boy, Kenya may be the drinking word today.
Right?
Flooding.
Let's not.
No, but it really is just absurd how people do think, because that kind of, for instance, in Creighton, which is the district that I live in, you'll get these bonds and whatnot that need to be passed for kids. And then you hear the people, well, I don't have any kids.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want just a bunch of stupid fuckers running around? Like, blah, 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 you know, do we not want to educate the future? Because we have to, they're going to be running things, maybe.
No,
hopefully, compared to whoever's running.
Yeah,
right
I mean,
now.
but then the money never gets to where it's supposed to go.
Right. That's the other
You're
bait and
right,
switch that
you're
always
right.
happens.
We voted on the lotto however many years ago in Arizona to get the lotto
It's true.
because we were one of those states with blue laws, with the religious laws. And gambling was going to be so bad, but that money was going to go to schools. And in perpetuity, this is how they passed it, there would never be a want in the public school system again. Because
you're
the
right.
lotto was going to fund education forever. And somebody got their dirty fucking hands on that money.
Yeah.
Because that
'Cause it
lotto
didn't-
money,
No,
should,
you're right.
that's exactly what we voted on.
You're
To
right.
approve the lotto in Arizona.
And how long ago was that?
Oh,
Is that early 90s?
I honestly don't know, but it was a long
Because
time ago.
I've been here 25 years and I don't remember it not, the lottery system not being here.
I feel like it would have been right around
Okay.
when we got here.
I'm sure we can
yeah.
look that up.
Yeah.
If only Kat was here.
I know.
We lean on her.
Cat, Wake up! Wake up!
Oh, God, no. Please don't. Jesus
Hopefully you
Christ.
had that off. My bad. My bad. Don't scream out. Don't scream. But
Um,
anyway, so forgive my rant, but it just makes me I think, you know, obviously there's the Aaron piece of it, and,
Right, yeah.
and our lovely listeners that teach and
Right, right.
that are involved with people that teach.
Friends
Oh,
that
my.
teach, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, so we're kind of all in this, but
Right.
but when I look at it, it infuriates the shit out of me when people are truly the Gets Summers off part. Aaron goes back on July 26th usually, like right
Right.
around there, and because of
The no
the-
pay,
the
she has
no
to
pay,
teach under summer school.
She has to teach summer school, so she's going through the month of June.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, well, that's a choice. Are you kidding?
Um,
Like, what?
Yeah, paying my rent is a choice.
According to the Wikipedia of things, Arizona Lottery was initially done in Arizona. It was the first state west of the Mississippi to get it in 1980, November 1980. And then in 2002 was the vote to extend it for another 10 years. So that would have, I don't know if that's the vote you're thinking of, because clearly you wouldn't have been here in 80 to have voted on
No,
it.
it feels like it was a lot longer ago. Maybe it was the Powerball that we had to vote.
Maybe
it
there was
might
something
have
else,
been
right, that may have come in.
a
But this says that
specific one or
this
something?
shows that the first drawing was October 13th, 84, for the pick.
Yeah, that's
Powerball
right.
was April 3rd, 94. Mega Millions started in 2010.
Okay, the 94 one.
94
That's when we,
probably, because that would
Yeah.
have been when we'd
Right,
been here
we
for
would
a
have been
couple
here.
years.
yeah,
Sure.
the Powerball was when we had to vote to let it come here because it was a multi-state.
Multi-state, right.
Okay.
Yeah, the pick was purely Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And then they added the other stuff.
Mm.
But yeah, interesting. God, the internet has so much information.
I
in it.
know, if you just use it.
If you just look it up.
Who's arming them with buckets of rocks and small ball bats?
Oh, that's what they're suggesting for the teachers. And the
Oh, I
students.
did. I read. I don't know where I saw that. I did
I thought
see
you
that.
was kidding.
No.
No, that is a legitimate deal.
I can't remember what school district it was, but that's what. Was it in Pennsylvania? I feel like Pennsylvania's gone around the bend now, and
Don't
they do
recall.
Florida like stuff like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I really thought that you were joking, Mama Di. I thought, come on.
No, there was something that was on Facebook I saw yesterday, and it showed all 4 items that they were arming them with.
Everyone
I'm like,
bring your bucket.
Stupid.
Yeah, bucket of rocks.
Wow. Dumb as a box of
Dumb
rocks
as,
is what it
right.
is. How about you, fine sir? My bad. Sorry for all that.
Oh no, it was Current events? No, I did see The Color Purple, which I had seen in its original carnation, if that's the word, iteration. I don't know. I'm trying to be fancy for no fucking
I like
reason.
It. Not for us.
And
Literally no reason.
literally, no, none at all. There's no need. So, and I was not a big fan of the show. I didn't like. I walked out and I was like, that happened. Like,
This last one.
yeah,
Just
the
now.
No, the
Oh.
original, the
Okay.
original
18
version,
years ago.
05, 06, whenever that came out, and I really just didn't care. And it's one of my favorite books. It's a movie that I love to hate. I love it just as much as I hate that movie. There's just as much to enjoy as there is to kick Steven Spielberg in the head over. And
For real.
but I left there like I never bought the soundtrack. I was like, well, that happened. With a great I saw it with a great cast and everybody could sing, but I was like, and it's Brenda Russell as one of the composers, who I absolutely love, and Stephen. Oh,
can't
Steve
help
Barret, I think is his name. Stephen Barret. He wrote with Madonna. He wrote many of Madonna's early hits, and they arranged it kind of like a poppy R&B show, and it just kept like clashing with the churchy numbers.
Okay.
And I really felt like one person was in charge of the church numbers and one person was in charge of like the pop numbers.
Okay.
And the one thing they did with this was not only did they like pare down the cast by like a third.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got rid of like 90% of the sets. And for a staging that has nothing to it, like
Yeah.
there's nothing but chairs on the set. The fact that they made the traveling, the working, the blocking of the show made it make sense without any set or any props, and they didn't look like they were walking in circles. Like they had a point.
Yep.
I knew what they were doing.
I could picture where they were
Yeah,
at.
where they were
Sure,
supposed to
sure.
be. Like I got what they were doing.
Yeah.
So great directing, and they made they changed the arrangement so everything was church.
Sure.
It was just 2.5 hours of
Praise Jesus.
churchy
Praise.
goodness.
Yeah.
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 And oh my God, the voices were phenomenal. I really
Yeah.
did not need Albert to have to have a soliloquy in the second act. That's
Right,
that's still
I totally agree with you.
yeah, that still was
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
necessary.
I totally agree with you.
Because I'm like, Celie ain't done nothing yet. Why does Mister have a soliloquy?
Right.
But then hers was very well done. It was
Yeah.
it was a beautiful, a great book. Turns out it was written by Marsha Norman, Pulitzer Prize winner for Night Mother. So like, I mean,
That's it.
everything is there
Sure.
for you to enjoy. Pulitzer Prize winning book,
Sure.
Pulitzer Prize winning book of a musical writer, two different animals, and great songwriters, but something just didn't quite click with me that first time around. And this time, oh my God, what a difference.
And that Suge Avery built like a brick shit house. If
Oh.
it was the same one.
Yeah, oh yeah,
she
it
was
was.
She was in on Broadway apparently.
Yeah. I don't know if she was Suge, but
No, she wasn't.
Yeah.
It said that she played just like Olivia in one of the
and probably covered Suge. Like she was probably one of those people that on somebody else's night off. Because a lot of times when a show closes, the understudies will step up to the real roles and go on tour, and they're very talented.
built like a brick shit house.
Oh my God! But those voices.
Oh, and Sophia.
And
Hell no.
Hell no. And I knew from which was the only song I liked from the original version. I do have to say, I knew that we were in for a treat the minute that Nettie and Celie duetted on Down by the River.
Yeah.
The minute those two voices clear as a bell in that harmony, I'm like, oh, we're in good hands, people.
Aaron and I looked at each other. We just had goosebumps.
Yeah, me
We were
too.
like, come on. Yeah, it was.
And
brilliant.
I have worked just about every day in between, so
Sure.
I picked up some extras. So that was my only day off until
Okay.
today, since last we met. And
Aw.
oh yeah, so I was doing it on coffee and good voices.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
what get me through it.
Yeah.
But a charming afternoon with Kat and Sharon and
Good.
Jose. We had a nice time.
Good.
But my Big Fat Greek has closed in Tempe. I was very sad to learn because I was really in the mood for a little Greek food, but that's
I
probably
didn't know.
that's in that price range of Z Tejas and Red Lobster and Olive Garden.
right,
That's
right.
really not riding out this economy very well.
Where was that?
Oh,
Mill Avenue.
Mill Avenue and
Oh.
5th for
Uh-huh.
quarter century or more. Empty. Oh, gone. So we went to Gordon Biersch.
Nah.
Did you see that La Casa Vieja was reopening? Did you
Yes. So, and I don't definitely not the same owners. I don't think.
No, it's the same owners.
From my goodness.
From what I read in the story, it's because it has taken so long for whoever to get their shit together for permits and whatever the hell they were going to do. They're like, look, we're just going to reopen because there's no reason for us to be sitting here
Sure.
not making money from a restaurant that was very popular.
Yeah, the light rail killed that.
So apparently they're reopening. I don't have a date. I don't know, and or if it's a finite run, like let's say it's 6 months. I don't know. But I did see the headline and read a little bit of the article about that. So I'm like, because I had never been there. I never had gone.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
if they
wonderful
reopen, then
food.
I'm going to go.
I have to tell you, to just go and have a beer or a cup of coffee with Meow Cal, I think would make my day.
Yeah, I'm in. I want to know what the song of his people is.
I do too.
Um,
I just
well,
love
that's
the way
very
his mind
exciting.
works.
I had seen the sign, but I just assumed because I knew that the light rail had like driven them into the ground.
Yeah.
And now there's rails. I talked a while till I got my point back.
Mm-hmm.
There are rails, like they're building a railway down Mill Avenue from University to at least Gamage, but they're also, so I don't know if it's temporary or if they're going to do some construction, but in front of the Old Tower Records, there's just tons of rails. So I don't know if the light rail is going to have like a second stop that'll take you through
I don't know.
like a trolley system perhaps.
Sure.
It'll
Oh,
take you
that
to
would be
Gamage from the
smart.
stop. Yeah,
That
it would be
really
smart.
A trolley, a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
A what?
What is
So-
How do we get there?
Who can say?
Who can say?
I'm looking right quick to see online about this. The idea of building the hotel and the office building, I guess, is all stalled. So they are. City of Tempe is concerned about the vacant building being there. So that is where the idea of reopening for a while has come back up. This story doesn't tell me exactly what I'm looking for, but anyhow, apparently that's in the.
Wonderful restaurant, old charm. Back in the days of going down to Tempe and doing like brunch at Mission Palms,
Yep.
bar hopping the old local haunts that are now all franchises, and then you would make it to Monty's for a steak
Sure.
dinner.
In kind of a dimly lit.
Yeah, very
you know.
the Durance of Tempe.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah, very similar vibe, but very hard to get home to. Oh, it's a modern streetcar system, more like a trolley. Oh, look at that. I can spot a trolley even when it's not built.
Well, and
Clang,
if
clang, clang with a fucking bell.
And if anybody in that chat room is going to know anything about
That's
a
right,
train
that's
or
right.
some rail movement in this valley or
right.
world, it would be Joe DeGanza.
Oh, well, there you go. Good.
Because he keeps
Yeah.
up on that. Yes.
No,
No. Well, but what Al is saying, because of all the light rail construction and all that bullshit, it was kind of more difficult to get there. I have to imagine.
Oh, it was awful to get to, and they
Just
were,
like
and
everything
they,
in Central Phoenix was awful to get to.
They
for
suffered.
2
There's
years.
there's a lot of, because when Beefeaters
Yeah.
was one of the Beefeaters and Monty's on either end of the light rail, that construction closing was brutal. Like,
Just so that
was-
no one has to click on this, I just want to play the song of Meow's people.
The Meow Mix commercial. Well, that's lovely.
Well, there you go, Clayton. What
Cats
did you do?
everywhere will be running towards you. Well, as we have already known, the pursuit of a job search is continuing on, and I think we are veering in a different direction. I'm not going to say what at this point, or who or where, but
Very mysterious.
well, no, I just, you know how those,
Yeah.
you talk about it, then it doesn't happen. So I'm like, nah, we're just going to let it go. Because I had a wonderful conversation with somebody last Sunday about some things, and they didn't know some things about me, and they're like, okay, this,
That used to be a woman.
what I understood. No, they were, she didn't understand some of the background. She's like, well, okay, now I understand why you need to be in this job and not that job. So wonderful conversation. We're working on some stuff. But the other thing that's been fun to do, and I know we had to talk about it last week, it has been, there's a performer down in Tucson. I thought they were here in Phoenix, but I've learned since that they're not. I don't know that I have ever met the person in person. I don't know. They just know me from my reputation of being around the valley for all these years. Messaged me through Facebook and asked if I would build they're in some sort of a competition at a bar in Tucson. I want to know if I would build a mix because he remembered me from building mixes from years ago for Queens. So the beauty of it is he sends me the links to the songs. He tells me the ins and which this is my requirement. Like I need an in and an out point of the song.
Yeah.
Are we fading at 237? What is it? I need to know what your transitions are. So as of last night, I got the fourth request, because I guess he keeps winning in these weeks of this thing. So it's wonderful. I just get the stuff, I download it, I spend an hour maybe, depending on the
3 hours.
Depending on the complexity.
3 hours.
Oh no,
3.
No, I have a flat.
3 hours.
Yeah.
I have a flat rate for the simplicity. You go more than that.
I got to take charge of your finances.
No. No, if it's
Billable
I
hours.
got onto
Billable
that.
hours.
no, it's based on the complexity of how many edits I need. If it's 3 edits, it's a flat rate. If we go up from that, then you're going to pay more, because that's
All
how
right.
it.
I'll look at your breakdown.
All right, fine.
Anywho, doing that, some voiceover
support
stuff,
you on that.
all from home. Doing wonderful. I mean, that's just kind of been fun. You don't have to see anybody. I don't have to interact with anybody other than typing. And miraculously, it just the ability, you see it on the commercials, the ability just to send money through your phone, through PayPal or your banking app or whatever. That is just glorious. The fact that I can even request money from them. Like, Bill, here's your bill for whatever, and then boom.
That's
No,
cool.
it's really
Ain't nothing going on but the rent.
fantastic for
Well,
those
I'm
kind of
glad
things.
that that's happening. That's
Got some
cool.
unfortunate news about a friend from in downtown Phoenix that it's for some reason it really has bothered me. I found out about it on Sunday morning. So just a reminder for all of you, anywhere in the world, the freedoms of being a more out society in the gay world, that sword cuts both ways. With you being able to be free and be out and be who you are, the unfortunate part of that is, don't forget you're still a minority in that, and people are still assholes. So when you're out and about, make sure you know your surroundings and where you are, and pay particular attention to just anybody who might wish any harm on you. So I just found out they're just assholes. People are assholes, and somebody got injured, and
I'm sorry.
yeah, just it sucks. And it's right here in downtown Phoenix, and it's just one of those things that, like, I don't know if the person would have done this had they been the assailant, had they been drunk, or excuse me, had they been sober, would it be the same thing or would it not? But I tend to guess yes, based on what I heard of it all. So anyway, that just sucked for that. But otherwise, it's just been beautiful weather and running around with some friends. A friend's birthday was at Rebar the other day, so that was kind of fun. I'd never been to they do a drag brunch that Barbara hosts with some other queen, and they close off the restaurant portion on the Rebar side, and then it's like 90 minutes of a show, and then you eat, and it's fun because it's more of it's a little more intimate, and then whoever the queens are just interact with the audience that's there, and it becomes fun because usually everybody that's in there are all friends, they all know each other, so the insults get to go back and forth, and people make fun of each other, and it was a good time. So that was fun on Sunday.
Cool.
Yeah.
What time were you there?
I got there at 12:50, and then I don't recall the time that we left.
Later.
Yeah, it was later than that.
Oh, we just walked right past there. That's why I was saying that. I told them, I said, I wonder if
Show
the
started at
brothers in
1.
there.
Yeah, so I was seated by a little before 1, and then I'm gonna guess, I want to say last time around 4.
Whose
or
birthday
so.
was it?
Devin Norris. You might recognize him if you were to look him up on the old Facebooks. He's a local celebrity here in town, but beautiful young man. 30 or 32. I forget how old he turned.
Older.
But, yeah, he older than what he was.
Yeah.
For real.
And hello to Michael Perry on the YouTube.
Yeah.
My job is to
hello.
monitor that chat room, and sometimes I don't.
No.
So just found him.
I have attempted to go onto that. And then
You know what I should Oh, I didn't thank you, Joe, for telling me that. That's bullshit. I'm reading Joe the statement that I had made earlier that La Casa Vieja was going to reopen. Joe says that he had confirmed that Monty's isn't reopening. It was an April Fool's joke. I did not
That's
know
mean
that.
spirited.
That's bullshit. I'm going to write a strongly worded letter.
Yeah, but where are you going to send it?
Well, apparently their Facebook
okay.
page is still up.
Right.
And I saw it briefly, but so I didn't think it was the family because there was no I thought there'd be way more information on that.
April Fool's joke. Those bastards.
I don't like pranks.
Sons of
I do not like pranks either at all. End of story with that bullshit.
Fair point.
Yes. All right. Well, there's that. Let's move on to because I'm sure somebody has one somewhere. Let's do this and see how it goes.
No.
Obsession. Are you obsessed? Is it keeping you up at night? Do you find yourself constantly making references only to be met with blank stares? Obsession. This segment is for you. Obsession. Whether it's musicals, mowers, Motown, Subarus, or Sondheim, it's time to share your obsession. Obsession. With the show with Clayton McKee.
Oh, shit. I really thought that thing was longer.
I sometimes I shut the mics because I figure that you just aren't going to talk in it. And then I liked at the end of that, the mic was open and you just like, oh shit. That just made me laugh. Shit. That was very funny.
That came up very quickly.
Well, do you have an obsession, Martin, or no?
You know, there are just so many.
There's always. That's what I wanted to do. I did that wrong.
So I'm obsessed with. Sadly, obsessed with the fact that people are. Well, you just said it. That they're just fucking assholes. But I'm going in a little bit different direction of who they're hurting and the fact that they're hurting people, and that people are just randomly shooting cops. Right?
Okay.
So, there were two police officers in Florida
Right.
that were sitting in the car, like having lunch. And then
Okay.
they got
Ambushed. Weren't there
Um,
just two today in
in
Dallas?
Dallas, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't.
We just have we have to figure out
I don't know.
how to get these communities to get along. Like we just
I know it.
there just has to be a way to
Because then you
start to heal this.
I'm not saying either anything is right or wrong, or well, it's wrong to shoot people, but that you go somewhere and you shouldn't just be arrested for being
Right.
right.
The Starbucks thing from last week.
Correct. And the Waffle House thing from, and not Tennessee, but the black gal that was arrested. And I don't care if it's warranted or not. I mean, the fact that you differently throw people to the ground,
Right.
as opposed to just politely going up to said white guy,
Right.
or white gal. It just none of it makes any sense. And so I'm just really obsessed with the
Nothing paints a better picture of the problem than the restaurant in some northern place where they actually had a shootout. And there was an actual shootout in the restaurant between two all-white bike gangs. And when the cops came, all of the bikers were like seated on curbs, handcuffed.
Right. Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah,
armed.
I know what
They
you're
had,
talking about.
They had killed each other inside the bar. There were dead people in the parking lot. Not one
You're right.
gun fired by a cop at this.
I remember this. When was that?
It's been a couple years.
Yeah, I totally remember that.
But here you had an actual gunfight, and the cops were able to manage to get there, arrest people, and no one was afraid for their lives and fired 20 bullets into someone who had just shot someone else and was armed and there to kill people.
Right.
Like that just paints a picture of
Sure.
and it's a problem on both sides. There's just got to be a way to start to heal this gap, but
well,
that
and even I don't know that you can, but because I don't have any idea who shot
right.
who shot whom when it came to were they black police officers, were they white police officers, was it black people that shot them, was it I don't know. I don't care. Stop shooting people.
Right. On every side.
On
like it's
every
just gotta
level.
stop.
Like just fucking stop going into schools and shooting people, and stop going up to cop cars and shooting people,
And stop shooting guys
Stop
that are
shooting
selling a single
people.
cigarettes.
correct.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Stop arresting people for being inside a Starbucks.
Just cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like everything has just gone insane. Even more than I had thought it had gone insane. Like every time you look up, you're like, is this?
Yeah, it's all the new norm. It's
now
we
the new
normalized so
normal?
much that now we can't even remember
Yeah, you can't
mass
differentiate.
casualty. Yeah, we can't remember mass casualty situations.
Right.
We can't remember when Bush and Obama were at a police officer's funeral in Dallas. Like,
Sure.
was Obama still president? Was it Trump? Who was president then?
Right.
Because it looks like Obama is consoling Bush. So was it from last week? Was it from Bab's funeral?
Sure.
Right. You're like,
When I don't know.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
it's just. Oh, right.
Oh, absolutely.
the South Carolina church shooter
That's
who
right.
managed to like
That's right.
walk away unscathed, and he was chased down by someone who didn't feel any need to shoot him, even though he was armed.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no,
Unlike
Meow,
the
you're
little
exactly right.
the off-duty white cop that shot the black kid in the chest when he shouldn't even have had a gun.
Right.
He was pretty much a librarian
Right.
with a gun. It just fucked. It's
Yeah.
fucked up on every side.
Yep. Completely
know,
agree. And I'm
And
obsessed
everybody
with
has
it.
friends
Yeah.
that are police officers, and they're
Yeah.
nice people, but like, you gotta get rid of the bad ones, and you like everybody's just
Mm-hmm.
gotta like take care of their own and like settle this shit. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't.
Something needs to happen.
Yeah, I'm at a loss.
Yeah.
So my obsession has nothing to do with yours, but I was really worried as they were handing out Pulitzer Prizes last week that the Harvey story got a lot of press, and the New York Times and another, I can't remember who the other publication was, that won Pulitzers.
The Post did too. if I'm
Was
not
it the
mistaken.
Post? So I was just worried because on the list of winners was not Ronan Farrow, who was the one who helped break
Broke
the
the
story,
story.
and got two of the victims to speak out for the first time.
Right.
But now I'm finding out, as he's getting a little bit even more attention this week, that he was named a Pulitzer Prize recipient this past week for his dogged industry-shaking New Yorker reporting on Harvey. So it turns out it wasn't for the Times. I kept doing that last year when we were talking about the story. I kept saying he wrote for the Post, but I meant the New Yorker.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And now, a year later, I think he works for the Times. So I like to combine the good, the bad, and the ugly of New
Right,
York
right,
news.
right.
Well, the Post is certainly not a newspaper in any way, shape, or form. That's a fucking tabloid. That's Fox News' state-run paper.
Yeah.
The Post, not the Washington Post. The Post.
The Post.
The New York Post. There's the New York Post, the New York
Times, the
and the
Washington
New Yorker.
Post, and then the Washington Post, all separate.
Right.
Right.
The New Yorker is a literary magazine with articles and wonderful and great cartoons. The New York Times is a reputable paper. The Post is none of these things. The Post is just an arm of the Inquirer and Fox News. And that's where page 6 comes from. And we were talking about what's his face from American Idol. And that's who was not outing. Well, maybe they were trying to out him as a stripper, but they were trying to out him.
Oh, from David Hernandez.
As gay. The Post had done a page 6 blind item about a contestant on Idol, and that was the shitty way that Fox News outed someone on one of their own reality TV shows.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So there you go.
Ugh. You fine, sir?
Two things. One, I am not following it religiously at all. I've just caught wind here and there. And
Did you
then
go to church? Not
and then
religiously.
I've seen a couple posts on the Facebooks. There is, on this season's series of American Idol.
I've been watching it.
Okay, so Ada Vox. Ada Vox was
Amazing.
a contestant, or tried out years ago, and I don't recall if
5 years ago?
5 years ago or something. Yeah, and I don't, did he get in at all at the time or no? Okay, so came back, auditioned again.
Was auditioned 5 or better years ago as Adam
Yeah, his
something.
boy name, right?
Yeah.
So he returns and comes in, and I believe his audition this time he came in full drag as Ada Vox, his
Absolutely.
alternate ego or whatever you want to call
Yep.
it. And the kid has a hell of a voice,
Amazing.
a crazy voice. If you can find it online, there is a video of Ada Vox and Leah Michele doing "Defying Gravity."
It's undeniable.
It's crazy. So anyway,
Find all of the clips of
so-
Ada Vox singing.
so last
Oh.
night,
I remember him auditioning as a boy.
So last night, it just happened to be that they were doing the final 10. They were separating the two groups last night. Well, I recorded it and I was really happy to see it. And I thought for sure they did this, even though what's his name, Ryan Seacrest says, I'm going to read out we're going to go through everybody
Yeah.
in no specific order.
Yeah.
No bullshit. It was done in a specific order because they built drama for the whole thing. So anyway, Ada Vox, it was the deal where it's a top 10, and 6 of the top 10 are voted by America, and then there are all the other people who are not voted into the top 10 sing. Well, they all sang, but then the judges pick 4 and round out the 10. So Ada Vox was the last one out, and America did not choose Ada Vox to be in that top 10. So came out, did the song because you have to sing for your supper. That's how it's almost like a lip sync for your life on Drag Race, but where they're really singing. Ada Vox sang.
I like he's trying to explain to me a show I do watch with a reference to a show I don't watch.
Right, but I'm also explaining it to everybody else who's listening.
I know.
So came out and sang "I'm telling you I'm not going," which again apropos because if you're gonna be voted off,
Right.
It was a great song. Anyway, they stood up and made an executive decision and put him in the top 10 and immediately, or her in the top 10 right then and there. So I'm very curious to see how this all shakes out. And again, I don't really care about the first however many weeks or months it's been on, but I will pay attention now for the final 10 to see how this all goes.
Yeah, Katy Perry.
That's how
I guess,
Clay-
is pissed.
That's how Clay Aiken made it. He was not voted in,
Oh,
and he had to do the sing off, and he did Bridge Over Troubled Water, and all 3 judges were like, because he didn't get voted into the top 10, but all 3 judges were like, we're just going to correct something first. This doesn't count as one of our choices because we're unanimous. Clay Aiken makes it through.
oh, okay.
And if you watch that Bridge Over Troubled Water, after some ups and downs in his audition
He
weeks,
gets there.
and he was season 2, so that was
Oh my God, is it that long ago?
yeah. So season 1 only had like 2 or 3 good singers,
Well, that's where Kelly Clarkson comes
Yeah.
from.
and she was one of the 2 or 3 good
Yeah.
singers.
And Justin
all-
Guarini was the other one.
and he was not one of the good
No,
singers.
I know, but he made it to the final 2.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah,
should
yeah.
not have, yeah.
He was the REO Speedwagon of that show. Bad 80s.
I
But
love
it's funny
R.O.
that oh, that man's voice.
Yeah.
If Junior High was
Kevin
not bad
Cronin?
enough,
I love that.
anything REO Speedwagon just made the experience worse. The songs to be tortured by.
That's awesome.
But I do like the name of their one album. You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish.
Yeah.
Just funny.
Cute. Yeah. Good
Okay.
stuff.
So that's one of my obsessions. I just
Yeah.
thought
All
it was
coiled up and hissing. That's the line that makes me
Yeah.
hate people.
I love that.
very interesting to watch that. So that's
Yeah.
one of them. The other one is, and this just popped up in my feed today, and I've decided I have to have one, if not 2. And I've already messaged my friend who works for Disneyland. Disney has released their new LGBT Mickey ears.
That's cute.
And I think they're fantastic.
And
I
the ears
just
look edible. Don't
they
they?
do. They really
look
do.
Like those,
They look like a big all day sucker almost.
Yep,
But I'm like, I've decided they're a limited edition. But I'm like, oh, that's just adorable
Yeah.
that Disney's coming out with, because come on.
Come on.
As family
The
friendly as they
gays?
want to be,
Come
they know that
on.
gays run Disney. I mean,
know
for
their
crying out
audience.
loud.
I want the hat to be striped and the ears to remain black. That's Mickey. Mickey didn't have some kind of a.
Well, we
Oh no, I disagree. I like that.
but
I understand where you're going with that, but no.
so I just thought it was cute. I want to see if I can figure out a way to get one just because, and I may never ever wear it. I just think it's very cute. And who knows? Maybe that'll be a new thing from Disney that every year they're going to start doing every year, because they have gay days at Disney. And again, the whole damn park is taken over by Moe's. By the way, completely off topic. Early returns, unfortunately. Republican Debbie Lesko leads Democrat Temperini in our congressional special election that's going on tonight.
By a lot.
That's early returns. Now they haven't got everything in, but that's early returns
Yeah,
that
by
they're.
a lot though. Or
But they
by
were,
what?
but they were really. I didn't. It doesn't have a spread at there on what I was
9,000 votes right now.
in.
9,000 votes in 5. She's ahead by 5 percentage points. Where Trump won this district by 21.
Right. So that's what they said to really watch for was what margin she wins by or loses, however it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really shrinking that margin.
That Debbie Lesko is awful.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah.
very curious to see how that.
But
plays
she's
out.
replacing someone
Crazy.
awful, so at least.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. But she's crazy. The end.
And the other woman is Temperini. Isn't she a doctor?
Yeah.
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 She is.
She made me think of the guy who came to our doors,
Yeah, Dr. Shaw.
Dr. Shaw.
Oh, sure.
Wait, that's not right. Shaw Amish. No, his last name
It's either Shaw, Amish Shaw.
something
I'm not
like
sure which.
that. I think his last name is Amish. I believe that's how it goes.
It was something like that because we had some fun with that.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
to be right. Yeah, sure, we'll
I
get
like
there.
it. Okay.
What do I need? Hang on, I gotta do this. I was trying to recreate. I'm not recreating something. I had to get something in order before we go to that segment. Boom, boom. Rejoin. Oh, this goes there. This goes. I have to build the breaks. It's how we do it. The long
Like,
story.
What's happening right
Never mind. We're gonna do this. Hang on. Let's do this. Come on. Tease into second hour. Q Talk America. We tell you what the
now?
headlines are.
2 or 3.
However many you want. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Oh, it's prison time for using tainted urine.
Finally, people showing some respect.
No prom.
A monkey, selfies, and copyrights.
Are you a real Indian?
DACA back?
We'll come up with more stories, I'm sure.
Oh,
That's all I got.
That's all right. Okay, well,
I
it's
like
all right.
it. I
We'll
like
figure
it.
it out. We'll come up with more stories because we can.
it is a local election day. I like it.
When we miss somebody at the table, it throws us all off. We'll be right back. It's Q Talk America. Stay here.
Is it done? Did I do it? Did I win?
You did it! You're done! You won!
I won?
You won!
You're listening to Q Talk America.
Educates, syncopates, radio communicates, radio, the sound of year-round pleasure.
This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the beginning of hour 2, or the B block. I'm going to start trying to remember to call them blocks like Rachel does. I think that's more fun. Anywho,
Whatever gets you through it.
it takes a lot. It takes a village.
Yeah.
It really does. Anywho, this is the show with Clayton McKee on Q Talk America. Hello, this is Clayton. Marnie's over there in the white tank top. This is Al in a lovely blue, almost a cobalt blue.
And it photographs purple.
It does. Look at
It
that.
does, yeah.
Every time I wear this shirt, I'm like, am I wearing purple?
Coming up later, we have more show. But this hour is the one we dedicate
Like it or lump it.
to headlines. Most all of them accurate and true stories.
Maybe.
Occasionally we slip in a zinger, but I think tonight we're going to make it out with real stories. And we're going to kick it off like this. An Ohio woman might want to ask some questions if she tries to borrow someone else's urine next time to pass a drug test. Local TV station WTOV reports that 24-year-old Kiana Wallace was sentenced to 18 months in prison on Monday in eastern Ohio's Belmont County after submitting a borrowed urine sample that tested positive for drugs. I think that was what she was trying to avoid, just to guess. Sure. Wallace pleaded guilty earlier this month to attempting tampering with evidence. The judge in this case called the failed urine swap bizarre and told Wallace he wouldn't allow her to make a mockery of the drug and alcohol testing system. Records show that Wallace was previously sentenced to 6 months in jail, followed by probation back in January of 2017 for drug possession. Wallace's public defender declined any comment as of earlier today. And I've heard about that before. Like when you go and for various drug testing for whatever you're going for, physicals or job, whatever, they send you, you're a piss test. You go in the little bathroom and there's a little seal on the bottle and all this other bullshit.
And you can't wash your hands and all these different
right,
things.
nothing. Like and like somebody stands outside the door.
Right.
There's no way. There's no windows. There's no anything to get in and out of that stuff. So, well, clearly that's what she was somehow. I don't know how she did it, but she got some funky urine.
Well, speaking of funky urine, I don't know how to do those little transitions, so it didn't matter. I mean, I was going to try to find something cute, but I can't. I don't know.
It's all right. Work with what you got, Martin.
I'm gonna work with it. I'm actually going to do this because I loved the name of this dog. So, gather round, children, as we share the story of a humble walk that began with poop and ends with meth. It's a slippery slope. Meet Erin, dog mom to Dwight, who ended up having an insane adventure when the cops raided her compound. The story has everything: the surveillance state, a husky puppy, meth. Someday I will tell you the story of the day I had today. This is the writer having it, but this came up on Twitter apparently, and this writer just couldn't help it. Aaron Burr, sir. At Aaron's Cafe, it says, I feel like I should just have another beer and tell it now. Aaron Burr, sir. Got beer? All right, bring it on. The story starts with my dog, taking a shit on the bathroom floor and ends with me cleaning out a meth house. Hold up.
Full
I
day.
need a beer, says Aaron Burr,
How
sir.
big was that bathroom?
Okay, let's do this. So about a week ago, this whole thing it was just ridiculous. So about a week ago, Dwight took a shit on the bathroom floor. It was my fault. I was gone a lot longer than I had expected. So when I walked in the house and smelled it, I thought, yeah, okay, harsh but fair. It's a whole Twitter feed going down that this person, hold on, it just went away. Hold on. Sorry. It's not working out well for me.
It's a shitty feed.
It's a shitty, well, or
Like the
or a
shitty
methy
beef or the
feed,
shitty chicken.
something. Anyway, it was just very funny. The Aaron Burser just cracked me up, but that wasn't really my story anyway. So it just made me laugh. The Aaron Burser.
These April Fool's jokes.
They're killing me. Well, there was a lovely, and I can't really do it as to send you a picture, but there was a viral photo about people finally showing, just people being good and showing some respect and doing it without needing anyone to tell them to do these things. Thanks to social media, there was a moving gesture of respect that has gone viral. Louisiana News reports that mourners were taking part in a funeral procession last Friday when they noticed a group of teenage boys that were playing basketball in Franklinton, Louisiana. As the cars passed, the boys stopped their game and each took a knee in acknowledgement of the loss. Lynn Bienvenue, I can't make that up, I do appreciate that, who was en route to the funeral for her cousin, captured the moment and later shared it on Facebook. They took a knee not out of disrespect but out of honor. There was not an adult in sight to tell them to stop playing. It's meant a great deal to our family. The post has now been shared more than 2,700 times with countless comments praising the display of respect and compassion for others. The boys have since been identified as Shamar Davis, Shimon Davis, Edward James, Branton Burton, Quindon Burris, Stacy Ard, James Bickham, Avant Money, Malachi Martin, and Calarian Dillon. Locals say that teachers at Franklinton Junior High School have hammered in the importance of treating funeral processions with respect. And the lesson
Found the picture. This is actually the picture we're talking about of the kids on the court all taking a kney for the.
How would you ever
Thank
find
you.
that disrespectful?
No. They were saying
Right,
like
yeah.
that
Right, but the other Colin Kaepernick again
Yes.
taking a knee. How would you find it disrespectful?
Right.
right.
Stupid.
Yep. The lesson is clearly sunk in. And I just thought that was really neat. The reason I said I couldn't send it, I only saw it in a video kind of thing.
Oh,
like
I just
movie,
Googled.
so thank
I just
you.
Googled funeral take a knee, and that's all
Take a knee.
popped up.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure.
But yeah, I just thought that was really cool. And this day and age, to just kind of go by and see a group of
Somebody doing the right thing.
kids, right, doing the
Yeah.
right thing, and that they're kids, and no one was like,
I mean,
"Stop
considering the
game
people at baseball stadiums won't even take up their fucking baseball hats for the national
for
anthem.
the national anthem. Bless you.
Or
Correct.
Oh my God, let it out.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it is that.
Yep. Or during a moment of silence, actually be fucking silent.
Right.
It's
Wow.
odd.
I can't judge on that one.
Well, I don't know.
The moments are few and far between.
There's a lot of places I enter that used to be quiet.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Hospital
Ma'am.
would be
Anyway,
one of them, I'm pretty sure.
Right. So, thank you for finding the picture.
Oh,
and,
sure.
and I wanted to read all those names because I think that those
Yeah.
boys deserve it. I think
That really
that's
is
great.
nice.
Yeah.
And isn't it sad that we need to call them out as an exception to be doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Well, we don't, but we do.
No, but I'm saying,
You
In
know what I
this
mean?
day and age, that
Right.
is
You would-
a great
Yeah,
start.
any youth doing something that
Yes.
shows respect.
oh,
Yes.
or
I
actually
know.
anybody, period.
Right.
But they get
Yeah.
praised for doing the right thing as opposed to back in the day, everybody just, that's what you did.
You just
Yeah.
did the
You
right
mean,
thing,
right.
right?
Sure.
Carry on, my friend Al.
Carry on.
So here's an idea of people like saying the right things for all the wrong reasons. Even though it's been nearly 150 years since the Confederate Army surrendered to Union forces, ending the American Civil War, some southern states still commemorate those who died fighting for secession from the United States over slavery and states' rights, mostly slavery. State government offices are closed today in Mississippi and Alabama for Confederate Memorial Day. In Georgia, the day has been called state holiday since 2015, when Confederate Memorial Day and Robert E. Lee's birthday were struck from the state calendar. The state holiday list says the official holiday is April 26th, but this year they went with today. The change in Georgia came amid debate in the South over what to do with Confederate symbols after the killings of 9 black parishioners in a Charleston, South Carolina church by a white supremacist who was offered french fries by the police officers from Burger King, as everybody remembers, even though he was armed and shooting people. In some parts of the South, the debate has prompted a counter-effort to honor Southern heritage and preserve symbols of the Confederacy. A Georgia lawmaker tried to revive Confederate Memorial Day in name in 2017. The proposal, which did not gain traction, made no direct reference to slavery or the Civil War, but it sought to recognize the 4-year struggle for states' rights, individual freedoms. I love when they say individual freedoms when they were fighting to enslave a people.
Right.
So, which individuals?
Yeah.
I got a question.
Who was that again?
And local government control. Now, Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant, guess which party he belongs to?
I can't imagine.
In 2016, declaring April as Confederate Heritage Month in his state amid backlash, he defended the proclamation, saying, and this is the part where he's saying it like a racist pig, but I agree with what he's saying, just not the spirit. History deserves study and reflection, no matter how unpleasant or complicated parts of it may be. A year later, he signed another proclamation with similar language and declared April 24th Confederate Memorial Day to honor those who served in the Confederacy. Yes, you should serve Americans who died in conflict, even when they were treacherous traitors. And then he says again, in the wrong spirit, but I agree with it is important for all Americans to reflect upon our nation's past, to gain insight from our mistakes and successes, and to come to a full understanding that the lessons learned yesterday and today will carry us through tomorrow if we carefully and earnestly strive to understand and appreciate our heritage and our opportunities which lie before us. But historically, some residents of these states have to take an issue with the holiday. I'm troubled that in a state made up of 40% people of color, our leadership continues to openly sanction the use of taxpayer funds to endorse a neo-Confederate agenda. Mississippi Rising Coalition President Leah Campbell said last year on Facebook, promoting protests of the holiday, "It's time to move forward. We can be proud Southerners and honor our heritage and the sacrifices made by our ancestors without the use of taxpayer funds to promote a racially unjust agenda." Like, it really is good to learn from your mistakes and see where, like, these kind of racist things and local laws that subjugate people or disenfranchise them go. But you don't make it a fucking holiday over people that should have been hanged for treason. You know what I mean? Like,
And who, in turn,
Owned
hung
people.
other people.
Right.
Other people, right.
you owned people. You're done talking.
Right. Right.
I don't care what Grandpa did in the war or what color he wore. He wanted to own someone.
Yeah.
He's not a hero. Can't help you.
Can't help you.
Can't help. Nope. Good call.
Do you guys remember this guy? Looking at our screen. Remember him? Remember that one? We did a story about him sometime back.
Hello.
This was a story where PETA had sued the photographer over copyright and making money off of this selfie that the monkey did on its own. The photographer had left a camera in the jungles or whatever, and the monkey found it and just inadvertently was playing with it and took perfect
20
selfies.
more years of piano, he'll write Mozart.
So a monkey cannot sue over copyright infringements of his selfies because he's not human and therefore has no standing to do so. A federal appeals court ruled yesterday.
But he's smarter than the president.
But he still can't make any
With
money.
their apologies to him for making him compete.
According to Judge Carlos B., he wrote this opinion, quote, "We must determine whether a monkey may sue humans, corporations, and companies for damages, and injunctive relief arises from claims of copyright infringement." This was from the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. We conclude that this monkey and all animals, since they are not human, lack statutory standing under the Copyright Act. The case involved a series of heart-melting snapshots of Naruto, which is the name of the grinning crested, I believe it's called macaque, is the type of monkey he is. This is from back in 2011. British nature photographer David Slater set up a camera in an Indonesian forest, and Naruto somehow tripped the camera himself and took these selfies, which were later discovered on the camera. Essentially, the photogenic animal took his own selfies, argued the people for the ethical treatment of animals, otherwise known as PETA. So PETA sued Slater, and this is a story we talked about a long time ago. PETA sued Slater when he sold some of the photos in 2015, obviously thereby making a profit, being a photographer. And he was always pushing the boundaries of animal rights, according to what PETA is arguing, that the monkey owns the rights to the photos, calling the images original works of authorship, is what they said.
Jesus Christ.
Well, now, PETA's initial lawsuit was dismissed on the grounds that a monkey lacks standing to sue over copyright. Duh. And then it says in parentheses, monkey see, monkey sue is not a good way for law. But PETA appealed it, arguing that the U.S. Copyright Act doesn't specify that a work's author must be a human. Because they're just dicks. That's what they want to do. They'll fight everybody. Both sides eventually reached a
PETA's
settlement.
got nothing better to do? Like,
No.
There's nothing better on their agenda.
Apparently not. So both sides eventually did reach a settlement, and he agreed to pay or to donate 25% of all future income from the photos to protect habitats where the monkeys lived. However, the Ninth Circuit Court decided on their own that they were going to go ahead and rule on this case, and that's where we get this story today. The court didn't sound very happy with PETA, saying in a footnote that the organization, quote, seems to employ Naruto as an unwitting pawn in its ideological goals. PETA didn't seem particularly close to Naruto, even though it sued Slater as a next friend of the monkey, according to court documents.
Christ, Lord.
The court noted, we have no idea whether animals wish to own copyrights or open bank accounts or hold royalties from sales of pictures. The judge wrote, PETA's general counsel said in a statement that Naruto, the monkey again, was discriminated against simply because he's a non-human. The court only ruled on Naruto's standing concerning the Copyright Act's, Kerr noted. He said that non-human animals still have constitutional right to bring a case to federal court when they've been wronged. So anyway, I just thought it was funny that
Again, this is
PETA.
this is people, their heart's in the right place. Like, I want to be with them, but I absolutely hate this organization from top to bottom. Like, they make liking animals hard to do.
So I guess what their argument is then, any revenue that might be gained from a cat video that you shot of a kitten riding a
Should go to the
vacuum,
cat.
right? That should any revenue should all go to the cat. Any dog video, anything of any kind. You take a picture of a fish in a bowl. If you
And
make
the
a
poor
nickel,
guy that took these photos, and even though this story is funny and they're shitty people, that guy had to pay legal fees for all these years. That guy has been tied up in lawsuits because of these motherfuckers.
right? But if he lost,
You
or
gotta
came to
hope that
agreement-
you gotta hope that there's that doesn't always happen. That if you
Right.
that if
I
you
don't know, but I'm wondering.
that
Yeah,
if
you're
you
right.
win the thing, you get your legal fees back. That doesn't always happen because you have to get you have to sue for restitution for I think you have to sue for restitution for like a hostile, not a hostile complaint, but like a malicious complaint or something that's just there to waste time.
Oh.
Most of the time they just throw something out and don't bother, but you have to go back and say this was just meant to cost me
To
money.
harass me,
To
right.
yeah. And there's a word, there is a term for that, but you don't automatically get the money back. And that's what most big companies, when they decide they're just going to keep you in court for the rest of your life, that's what they're banking on. That they can just money up and pay a team of lawyers until you're out of
done,
cash
right.
and you give up.
Right.
Like that's, and so PETA is those kind of fucking evil. Like they're nasty fuckers. It's not, I wouldn't give those people a nickel.
It would be so much easier if Meow had just gone into primate law.
I
Then
know.
we would know.
And I said it was part of
Then
Trump's
we would know.
primate law was part of Trump's jobs program. He really thought
Oh, see?
that was going to make up where everybody from Sears was going to go when they ran out of jobs.
But it is a great picture. This is one of several pictures that were obviously taken. But again, Monkey had no idea. I just think
And how much money is that monkey or that man going to make off that picture?
I have no idea how.
Besides Aaron.
Right.
I have no idea how much that goes for, but it showed other places. If you look up the story, you look up that specific story, people have big prints of this in places because it's just a great picture of this
Yeah.
animal. But then again,
And it looks like you were dangerously close to what may or may not be a dangerous monkey. We don't know him.
we don't know.
We don't
Just
know.
because it smiles doesn't mean it's
Yeah.
What is that? Harambe?
Yeah, because
What
you
was
know,
that?
like
Because
chimpanzees, they seem fine
they
till you got to get a
seem-
face transplant.
that, or they throw shit at you.
Well.
Yes.
Or if you're in Ohio,
Oh, and
we
just-
just shoot them.
oh, right. No, they had
That's
the gorilla.
Harambe. That's
Yeah,
what
that's
I was
the-
talking about.
Oh, I thought that was your segue to your story.
No,
No.
Harambe. Isn't that the name of the gorilla that they shot and killed? And
Yeah, they-
because the little boy decided he was gonna.
Oh yeah.
You can't watch a gorilla eat a little boy either.
Well,
Again,
no, but you could. They're
tranquilizer
different things.
darts, yeah.
I
But
just
you
think
also
they're
don't know when they shot what he was going to do when he was, fucked up stoned for a little while with a tasty treat.
Well, I mean, maybe. Why won't the sun?
Or he could have. Or the other thing was if they had done that and he had fallen on the kid and
Sure,
crushed
that's
the kid.
true.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I mean, although
Also,
shooting him
I'm just
dead,
gonna
he's
kinda-
fallen down too. So
Keep your fucking kids with you.
right.
That's all. I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Let's look at bad parenting for a minute,
Yeah,
shall we?
right? Can we?
Oh, I have been with a friend who and took a kid to the zoo. Those little fuckers are slippery. Like you're watching them, they're gone. That kids
did
unleashes
you
thing, it looks
go?
cruel, but it's a great idea.
Oh, sure it is.
Those little fuckers are everywhere.
Clayton, I've tried to send this thing to you like a bunch of times, so let's see.
Well, why don't you just start talking about your story, and I
there
could probably
goes. I got
Google it faster.
I got it. Okay.
And I did the
so-
shiny thing. I was the bad adult because I did the oh my god, look at that thing, and then I'm like, where the fuck did that kid go? It has been 1 second. I saw sky.
Well, because we're talking about good kids, right? We
Uh-huh.
talked about good kids. And now I'm going to talk about a shitty white kid.
Yeah.
A really fucking shitty white kid. Oddly, there are a lot of shitty kids, though, which we pointed out. A teen's racist promposal goes viral. If I was black, I'd be picking cotton, it says. But I'm white, so I'm picking you.
Oh
To
dear
go to prom.
Jesus.
Right.
Here's the sign.
Mm-hmm. Right? So,
Oh
now,
no.
Noah
Legitimate.
Crawley's parents released a statement to the HuffPost. This is an update to this, but
Okay.
Noah Crawley, who's in that picture, had apologized and was like, "I didn't realize that would be a racist thing." Because for real,
How do you not?
I could have had a V8.
Right.
You could have had something. Wow. Anyway, his parents though released a statement
Saying that
Our
the
son is an
teen
idiot?
will
no,
not
that we're the
be-
shitty people that
the teen will not be attending school activities for the rest of the year, including prom and graduation. While our son has apologized himself on behalf of our family, we wish to also express our most sincere apologies for the terrible words he used in his promposal. We love our son dearly and know that he is a far better person than reflected in his reckless behavior.
But they're
that
not.
said, as loving parents, we also feel compelled to share our own deep regret and serious concern about his actions. After numerous familial conversations and lengthy discussions with the Riverview High School administrators, we have jointly agreed that our son will not be attending any further activities or functions, including the prom or graduation ceremony. As a family, we truly recognize this incident is a very difficult but important life lesson and pledge to do all we can to ensure that nothing like this ever happens again. Certainly, we hope that all of the people in communities who were hurt and offended will forgive our son and family. So this high school student, Noah Crawley, who used a racist sign to ask his girlfriend to prom, is getting a little bit of backlash. Oddly, this is out of Florida. Noah Crawley, 18, held up a sign that read, as we just saw, if I was black, I'd be picking cotton, blah, blah, blah. The recipient of the promposal reportedly answered affirmatively with 2 heart eye emojis. A photo of the teenager holding up the poster was shared to Snapchat. Then screenshots circulated on Twitter, where many are calling it racist AF.
You
think?
Yeah.
And asking for the teenager to be banned from the dance. So there are so many people. Sarasota's teens racist promposal reminds us that it's 2018 and racism still isn't being taken seriously. The fact that no one told him this was wrong during the entire process of making it, including the girl who said yes, is a big issue, and this makes me sick. It's open racism in 2018. Happy Confederate Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Where was he radicalized? Crawley said it was complete. It was a. This is so smart he is too. It says it was a completely joke. All right,
completely joke. It was a completely joke,
and it went too far. After reading the texts and Snapchats, I truly see how I've offended people, and I'm sorry. How did you think?
How did you not think that before?
I guess if you and your girlfriend are just like the biggest crackers in the entire world and a little racist sign doesn't do anything to you, but then you don't photograph it.
No.
Nobody does.
No. You don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You put a little hood on.
Yeah.
And maybe you have a little torch. What are those things in the backyard?
The tiki
torches. Tiki torches. Maybe you have those.
Like,
you little fucking KKK wannabe.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's just kind of subtle. Like whatever Trump called Chuck Todd the other day.
Oh, sleepy-eyed.
Sleepy-eyed. Like, yeah, he went with the.
Sure.
Like he knows all the secret code that you have to know. Like he knows all the white supremacist talk that makes you have to go digging and find out what did that one mean.
What did that mean? Mm-hmm. Right.
But that one was pretty just out and out. That just tells you that kind of talk is just either amongst his friends or amongst his family. That kind of talk is just.
You have to sit down and you have a sign, so you have to go get the paper.
Well, that's what I said. So first,
notice it's white paper.
But you had to show somebody, like you had to show a friend and be like, "Oh, what do you think she'd say?" Or go to your mom.
So oddly,
and your mom probably said, "Well, it's funny, but please don't let anyone photograph that."
Well, oddly, I was looking this up earlier, and there was.
I'd love to know if the girlfriend is black.
Nope.
Would that be funny?
Update. So there's this update that students apologized.
I have to go home.
A year and a month ago for racist promposal, and it's the same fucking promposal a year and a month ago, and it's three gals that are in this thing. You may be picking cotton, but we're picking you to go to prom with us. And it's two black gal, and the white gals they're the ones that made up. So that happened a year ago. So he had to copy a sign. He didn't just come up with that.
He plagiarized it. It's even worse.
Oh my God, he's Melania Trump.
It's more worser. Because he's plagiarized.
I love that Joe wants to date him. Well, he'll like you. You're white.
Oh, there you go, Joe. But yeah, so there were quite a few that
Sorry, Joe, right under the bus. I just drove that truck right at you.
I really thought it was a lot. How about this? Racist promposals. Masters and slaves.
Oh, God. Just make it stop.
I'm just saying, that kind of stuff. The fact that there are, because I went to just look up his picture.
But that they had that as somewhere to get your picture taken at the.
No, that was a Comedy Central thing. But that's
Oh my God!
no. But these are things that you poor
heart.
thing.
You're giving Al a heart attack.
Sorry. I mean, it really just the fact that that kind of stuff is even out there. This guy copied it.
Right.
This guy, he was able to
Like
copy
we
it.
all have racist uncles, cousins, whatever. But you certainly don't write down what they say and hold it up for somebody.
No,
Oh
not
my
at all.
God.
And that same exact thing with a white guy and a black gal.
Because I have a cousin who compared Beyonce's black backup dancers to the KKK. That was the last day we were friends on Facebook. But the day I was like, what the fuck?
And it's a white guy with a black girl. Same thing. It's that same one.
I can't.
And the idea that this is just so when you were talking about normalizing things.
Yeah,
And
oh.
it's just
Remember when the show used to be fun?
Oh.
Let's move on to
Killing me.
what story do you have next?
All right, well, I have a different. Well, luckily, I can segue very nicely into a happy, sad prom photo. Despite photo, Parkland students David Hogg and Cameron Caskey apparently aren't going to prom together. Despite their photo together with the caption Prom 2018, Parkland shooting survivors Cameron Caskey and David Hogg aren't going to prom together, their parents told TMZ. On Monday, Caskey,
I didn't even know
who
Hogg
clearly
was
has
gay.
a big old giant crush on David Hogg, shared on Twitter the photo of himself smiling and embracing Hogg with the words Prom 2018. It led to several social media messages supporting their perceived relationships, but parents for both students told TMZ they are just friends. You can still go to prom with your
Right,
friend.
this is the picture Al's talking about. I saw it too on.
Totes adorbs, little skinny white boys. Hogg and Koski have been among the most visible survivors of the February 14th mass shooting. Hogg, a senior, and Caskey, a junior, have appeared together in interviews advocating for gun control and school safety. They helped organize the March for Our Lives rally in D.C. The senior class is organizing an over-the-top prom at the Westin Fort Lauderdale Beach Resort. The prom will be both romantic and glamorous while paying tribute to the students who lost their lives. There will be a memorial near the entrance for the of the prom ballroom. But this went around, and that whole thing of shipping, which I'm not really 100% sure what it means, but I feel like it means like Bennifer turning Brad and Jen into
okay.
I think that's what shipping means if I'm using it correctly. That people had already tried to like make them a couple and combine
it.
their names.
Got it.
But I mean, and they're just, skinniest two fuckers on earth. But it's a charming photo, and it just looked like, oh, one of them is very much in love, and the other one's in for, well, same one is in for a lot of heartache.
Well, when I saw it,
Two stories, one person.
and I didn't read any of the story, but when I first saw it, I'm like, so this is an interesting turn. I had no idea that David was gay, and and maybe he is or isn't. I don't know, but I just saw that. I'm like, oh, that's a whole other side of this story.
I was under the impression that he was, because I know that the girl is
Emma. She's adorable.
Yeah, they're all adorable, and the reason they're so well spoken and ready is because at least I know David and Emma are from the theater program.
Oh, okay.
They're in the arts program, and that's why they're so ready to
Sure.
be like on and perform.
Sure.
Is they're like they're like Disney kids. They've been working for showmanship, presenting themselves well. Like they're kind of a great argument for why you get into the arts, so that you can.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, also David's mother is a producer for CNN, so he's used to being around media.
I did not know.
Oh, but
that.
but he auditions all the time. That's why they thought he was an actor, because
okay.
he has gone to California for pilot season, I think, more than once.
Oh,
if I it's without googling, but I think he has been at he's auditioned quite a bit, so he's been filmed in a lot of stuff, and he maybe does commercials.
sure.
I went to prom with a girl too, but we definitely went as friends.
Well, what else are you gonna go with? Go as. What else are you gonna go as? It was you, for God's sakes. Well, I found a little fun story to round out this enchanting segment. Does anybody here remember this atrocious thing? The big mouth Billy Bass that had pre-recorded songs or messages in it, and you pushed the little red button, and the mouth would move and it would sing. Well, you may remember how annoying those things were. Well, somebody in Florida found them annoying as well. A Central Florida man was jailed after he reportedly grabbed a Billy Bass display off of a wall and threw it at his boyfriend, according to a police report. The Indian River record shows Gregory Carney, who is 54, was booked on a charge of domestic battery. The website said that Carney and his boyfriend had been fighting all day. The Smoking Gun said that after the boyfriend had to endure, quote, several big mouth Billy Bass performances, Carney noticed that he had thrown it away. Carney reportedly found his fish in the trash, and he then threw it at his boyfriend, causing a cut on his head. Carney reportedly told police that he did not mean to aim for the boyfriend's head. It's just where it hit.
No.
And then he hit him by accident. He was released on a $500 bond. But if I had to endure multiple
Right.
songs from that goddamn fish, I probably would have thrown it at somebody too, because nobody got time for that.
That's part of the whole like second date. Do you have a Billy the Bass fish?
Or do you even know what it is? You
Yeah.
may even start with that.
Sure.
Do you own one?
Yeah, because if you don't know what it is,
Then we're safe.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Right.
we need go
It's
no
sort of like
further.
your dating question. Do you have to drive to
yeah,
work?
Do you drive to work?
Do you drive to work? Answers: you have a job, you have a car.
Yep.
Two things already cleared off the plate.
And a valid driver's license, don't forget.
Well, we assume.
Yeah.
You can't always get what you want, but you assume that maybe that's the.
And the Associated Press at 8:08, so it's been a while,
Yeah.
calls the race for Lesko.
Yeah, unfortunately. But still, what was the margin? Did they final?
By about 9,000 votes, so about 5 percentage points in
Okay.
Trump.
Okay.
Trump
That's
won
a-
by 21. So
that's a l-
and it's only till November. She's
November,
got to
yeah.
run again in 6 months.
Good.
So hopefully,
Good.
yeah.
Yep. Good on
Closing them gaps.
And you know the thing is that here's the problem. Who didn't go and vote? A lot of people. Right?
Oh,
But they were. It wasn't Sun City part of this? Like all the old fuckers in Sun City, they're all
Yeah,
the ones
that's
that
true.
were.
You're right.
It's
You're
that
right.
whole area.
Yep.
yeah,
You're
this
right.
is 150,000 people voting, and it has 0% precincts reporting. So that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. Our state only has 5 million people, 2 million people.
Not a
don't
lot.
know.
I'm not very good.
I
sure
know
they're
that
gonna
the
know.
city is half of the whole state's population.
Oh yeah, that's very true. Yeah, that's true.
So
Fine, sir. You?
No, I did the Billy Bass thing.
Oh, that's right.
If you
Sorry. No.
I was-
Because he went off on something. So that's
If you
why I'm
want to
like,
take
yeah.
another story, go
Oh, I
ahead.
have-
I have.
Otherwise,
well,
I have one more quick one too.
then go.
I have one for Al actually.
Oh, there's 7 million people in Arizona. Christ Lord.
So there is a tweet that got wildly popular, and it's a list of 6 rules that this guy set for his girlfriend before going to the movies, and that made me think of Al.
What's
Okay.
it?
Right. So, in a tweet that's gotten wildly popular, Stanley T posted some screen grabs of text from a guy who made sure to set ground rules for his girlfriend before taking her to see Infinity War with him. It's not clear how Stanley got a hold of these texts, but either way, the whole thing is hilarious. So this guy sets ground rules for his girl in terms of watching Infinity Wars, right? First, he tells his lady that he's got 2 tickets to the movie. Then he launches into a whole spiel about how his girlfriend is to act during the viewing. He's definitely obsessed with the Avengers, apparently.
These are Oscar kind of rules, I feel.
Right. So Friday, April 27th, 8 p.m. Infinity War. You going with me? I just ordered 2 tickets. Yes, dear. She says. Okay, here's the ground rules. Number 1, I'll buy you whatever you want before the movie. Candy, popcorn, drinks, even a hot dog. But you can't ask for anything during the movie.
Fair.
Number 2, no talking during the movie. I can't be distracted.
I'm on board so far with this kid.
I can't be distracted. You got questions? Write them down. I'll answer when it's over.
Again, fair.
Yeah, I'm liking it.
Number 3, no hand holding. It'll distract me and I'll miss things. I've waited 10 years to see. Save your cooties until post credit scenes. Kissing also applies, he says. She can have whatever food she wants, just as long as she asks them before the movie. Once the film starts, no deal. Other rules included the no talking, no hand holding, and the kissing. Mandatory tears. Was so funny. Number 4, if a main character dies, we cry together. If you ain't crying, you walking home. I need you invested in this, he says.
Okay, now we may have gone too far.
And
I
without
think it's
any
hysterical.
knowledge, I think Iron Man's gonna die. That's my guess. I don't think the movie's out yet, so I'm gonna say Iron Man's
Okay,
gonna
but
die.
he
in
just
this one.
says, if
I
a
feel
main character.
I feel like what's his butt once out of his contract.
If a main character dies, we cry together. If you ain't crying, you walking home. I need you invested in this. Number 5. If you cancel the movie date, I'll need 24 hours notice so that I may replace you with a suitable viewer.
Oh, that is fair.
That's fair.
Most
That's
like-
fair.
He says most likely it would be Jesse, whoever that is. If you cancel last minute and I have to watch alone, you'll be hearing from my lawyer.
Oh, God, no. I would rather watch alone.
Yeah,
right,
then
right.
have to worry about
Then
kissing
bad,
and
right.
not crying and hand-holding and feeding people
Plus, you'd
mid-movie.
save money on the ticket and on whatever grub he's going to get from the snack bar.
He gets a little crazy right here, but he says if a crazy white guy wants to come up in there trying to ruin the movie by shooting at people, I need you to take him down quickly and keep him under control. Wait until after the movie to call the police. I don't need the commotion interrupting the movie.
Wait, you got what?
The final rule might be a little tough for some ladies or men to manage. Dude wrote, if a crazy white guy wants to come up in there trying to ruin the movie by shooting at people, I need you to take him down quickly and keep him under control. Wait until after the movie to call the police. I don't need the commotion interrupting the movie.
Okay. I have to congratulate him on that point. I needed you to say it again because I thought I heard it wrong, but I'm like, oh yeah,
no.
you are doubling as
Yeah.
my bodyguard. You're taking down the angry white guy in the mask so I can conclude my
Yeah.
movie going.
He just got short of, I need you to become a human shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better be crying with me and be
Right.
the human shield. But
Taking bullets.
I thought that those would be allable kind
Yeah.
of things, you know?
No, I'm on with him on
He never lost me.
Allable rules
Yeah,
to live
exactly.
by.
He never
or
lost
Claytonable
me.
rules, either way.
So
I
Phoenix
thought that was
has a population of 1.6 million and the state is 7.1. So it's not half and half anymore.
Nero
For
and
some
I are
reason,
on
I
the
thought
same
I
page.
thought I hadn't researched it, but I just assumed that the metro area of Phoenix was larger.
Well, I
than
think
that.
if,
than
I
that,
think
huh?
if you get Metro, if you do Metro Phoenix, then you end up with like Mesa and Chandler and stuff like that.
Right,
But
that's what I
they're-
would call.
Yeah, but they're doing them as their own cities now. They don't want to be part of Phoenix.
Sure.
Oh well, if you do the metropolitan area, then I wonder where we're at 5.
Well, yeah, it's got to be over
I
that
would
because
say-
there's like 9 cities that are up to 100,000.
Because you got like 7 people in Tucson,
Mm-hmm.
and then like 14 maybe in Flagstaff, and 2 are trained conductors.
No,
that's about it.
And Mesa's bigger than Flag.
No, I know,
And Tucson's like over. I think Tucson's
I
half
know.
a million.
right? But I was
Yeah, I got you. I'm sorry.
sarcasm. I clearly
I-
didn't hit the mark with you. On
Yeah, I didn't get you.
that. I don't know how many are in Ajo or in what's that other little fucking city on the way to San Diego?
Blythe,
Yuma.
No,
Yuma,
no, on the way to Yuma. No, where the
Amcat, Tacoma.
no where the UFO.
Oh,
restaurant-
Gila Bend.
Gila Bend.
Oh, there you go.
You got to nail that down. It's all little towns from here to
Well, that's
San
true.
Diego. Pick one.
That's fair. They're all.
I
a
would
bunch of-
totally watch a movie with Nero. I like it.
All right, let's do this.
Me too.
Let's do this and see what we can get out of it.
Entertainment! Quite short. We have a very exciting piece of news about my favorite author in a TV show. We already did the review of The Color Purple, so we're out there. We have a couple of birthdays, and we have the opening of the Donna Summer musical. I think that's about it. Not really much happened, and then I'm betting that Iron Man's gonna die this weekend.
Apparently,
That's my guess.
All right. You want to hear the analysis of Al and all of those titillating stories? Join us on the other side of this break, and you'll find out.
Hey girl, you okay?
You're listening to Q Talk America. is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
It is the C Block, otherwise known as Hour 3. On the show with Clayton McKee, this is Q Talk America. I am Clayton McKee, sitting alongside Marnie Ryer and Al Perkins on a Tuesday night in Central Phoenix. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. If you're just joining us, where the hell have you been? All these years. By the way, this is the first show of our 7th year, so my gosh, we've suffered through a lot. You actually, the listener, have suffered through more than we have, I think.
I had to use
Because we were drunk from a lot of it.
Earlier in the earlier days, which I think
I didn't drink.
I think we're gonna.
Oh, you were here for the gift giving.
Yeah, that was, and that whole Joe. Seriously, I can't wait to listen to that little cassette was adorable.
Adorable.
As I remember, an old host might say, totes adored.
Totes
adorable.
adorbs. I listened to, I think this part. I think I listened to the C Block because that
thank
was
you,
the
Joe.
first one on the page.
Well, right, but
that came first.
Right, but they're ABC. They're in reverse order. But pass that down to Marnie so she can look at it.
Yeah.
later.
So.
But yes, they are the best of that Joe produced for us of season 4 is online. So go to our website. You can certainly listen to them there. They are noted as best of ours.
Yeah, and they will be playing on the weeks that we miss.
Yes, that's true. Coming up.
Yeah, my drive to work is far too short to listen to a podcast. So I think I only listened to like 4 more minutes than we heard in studio that day of the A part.
And I actually haven't taken time to sit down because I want to sit in one setting and listen to each one of them.
Yeah.
Because there's just going to be a hell of a lot to absorb. And what's going to be funny is I'm sure I'm going to hear things like, oh, I don't remember us ever doing that or being funny or doing. Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to hear things that I absolutely will not remember.
Thank you for doing that, fine sir. Also,
Yeah.
I was listening when he said, well, she's hardly here. So don't fucking think I don't pay attention. You.
Yeah, me.
And him. You.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't think I
Well.
didn't watch that whole thing when he was like, yeah.
Well, there's that.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh,
Oh, I was watching. I was right here while I was getting my taxes done.
Yeah.
Fine,
How
Oh,
that-
good news.
Did that turn out well for you?
Oh, well, okay.
Okay.
All right. Very good.
I'm not mad.
Okay. It's all we can ask for in life.
So we'll go with birthdays because it's like Jimon Hansu's birthday. It's Barbara Streisand's birthday. It's Shirley MacLaine's birthday. Jill Ireland,
Which
who I
Jill
always
McClane,
loved.
or Shirley MacLaine?
Oh yeah, the latest
Which
one.
Right.
One of her many birthdays.
Kelly Clarkson's birthday is
Oh,
today.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I love
Beautiful,
Kelly
beautiful, beautiful Derek Luke. Oh my goodness, he is so attractive. Yeah, it's a fun birthday. There's all kinds of people as you go down the list. But it was also the opening. I guess. Wait, I was fucked up. I confused the 2 days because the Donna Summer musical opened last night, and it's so we're gonna blame the time change. Well, the Donna Summer musical's first opening night was last night. There was some fun videos posted all over of curtain calls and numbers from the show, and 9 out of 10 reviews were brutal.
Yeah.
But jukebox musicals they're a tough sell. And when it ended, or maybe about halfway through, I was like, "Wow, I didn't realize how bad Jersey Boys was till I saw this." Like it's like, so, and I said it too. It's a terrible book. It's a really, really poorly written where we just gloss over things in the book, and it's.
Yeah,
Just-
it sounded like it
just
didn't
sing
give
the-
her any credit for.
Well, no, it gives her a lot of credit, but like they just gloss over like abuse and stories that you could delve a little deeper. But then, do you want to make just a depressing show,
Sure.
or do you want to get on with it? But they handle like abuse by a pastor as a child, an abusive boyfriend, her little thing with pain pills, and attempted suicide. Like there's a lot to throw into 100 minutes and 20 songs.
But does that not become like a Tina Turner story at that point then?
Right. And so we wonder because the Tina Turner musical is coming, the Cher musical are coming. Like, how are these jukebox musicals
Right.
gonna fare? The one thing that really saved, and this one, the songs are great. So you completely forget that the book fell apart when they go to the next song and they sing it very well. Just like in the Jersey Boys, like you forget how ham-handedly they get to "Oh What a Night" because the song is so good, and you're like, "Oh, that's a clever way to do that." But
You forget a shitty story for a good song.
Yeah.
right.
right?
And the guy, I think Tommy was the band member that let them really delve into his darkness, and so there was a lot of drug abuse and stuff like that.
I'm with Joe and well, like what is?
Oh, a jukebox musical is where you take a group of songs and you put a story to it. You didn't write songs for the story, which
Okay.
this is what Donna Summer didn't want. She wrote a musical called Ordinary Girl. The backers wanted her to use her hits. She wanted to write original songs. And so when she died, they kind of went with, we'll tell your story, but we need to use your hits.
Okay.
We don't want to try to sell an original musical. Smokey Joe's Cafe is kind of how it all went wrong. I mean, it went wrong in a lot of different ways as I've been looking back at jukebox musicals. But Smokey Joe's Cafe is the one.
I haven't seen that yet, but I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah, wonderful music. It's Lieber and Stoller, so it's Hound Dog and There Goes My Baby, and I mean they're like Carole King and Jerry Goffin of like how many songs they wrote that you just don't know. And so they do a string of songs. You know, they do it with Gershwin all the time. Sondheim does Side by Side by Sondheim. Like there's Sondheim musicals where they just find a reason for the characters to sing his greatest hits and call it a musical. So they're called jukebox musicals. But they do have bands. Like they, you know, it's Broadway, so you have to have a band. Whitney Houston, The Bodyguard, turned into a jukebox musical because they had to kind of make. They went with a movie of The Bodyguard with all of Whitney Houston's songs because no one wants to watch her drown in a bathtub. You know what I mean? So Mamma Mia is another one that really took off, where a contrived story fits in ABBA songs where appropriate. But then in the middle of really like hating everyone for like the goofiness of that movie, The Winner Takes It All has this like fantastic hidden meaning that you're like, well, that is really appropriate. Like that, like like that lyrically fits, and it's a gorgeous song. So this one, like Enough Is Enough, they fit that in with the abusive boyfriend that she finally gets rid of, and two of the Donnas get on stage and sing No More Tears, Enough Is Enough, and it really does, it fits. And when they do the part about Donna getting out of Casablanca Records, going with David Geffen and trying to like be in charge of her own contract and like hiring lawyers and taking control of her destiny, that's when they do She Works Hard for the Money. So at times it really fits. You know what I mean?
Sure.
There's a thing where she doesn't want to be the whispery singing disco diva anymore. She wants to show that she can sing, so they do MacArthur Park. Yeah.
Right.
So they do MacArthur Park and let her handle something that's just vocal gymnastics. But the one nice thing, and it's a fun musical because then you're dancing to Hot Stuff and Last Dance at the end, and who really gives a shit? It's all you're there for. But the one thing that almost every review said was the thing that they just can't capture is you can't get the stillness and effortlessness of like watching her Donna sing her own songs, that she never looked like she was putting any effort out
Reaching for a
whatsoever.
note
Oh, she
at all, or-
100%.
And the funny thing with the microphone, we're like, I'm just going to hit this note and put the microphone out here because I don't want to blow the roof off the place.
And the auto guy's not going to pull it back like he needs
Right,
to.
like he needs to. So she stands like this, and every concert I ever went to, someone would be like, is she lip syncing? Because like and they talk about that. Like, you need someone to at least do that. She just didn't put any like effort. She just could wail on a song while looking like she was, you know, going over a grocery list. So in honor of Barbara and Donna today, I watched both of them on Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh.
And Barbara and Rosie O'Donnell was hysterical, as Rosie admits she said diarrhea for a week. Just a fun episode.
I remember that.
And then the
I
Donna
remember
one,
Donna,
Donna was doing I Will Go With You, and then her and Rosie decide they plan to sing Enough Is Enough together. And as Donna's like singing the opening, Rosie's like, oh fuck,
I can't do this.
and she's like, well, that's just beautiful. And she was thinking it was going to be kind of jokey, but Donna sings it for real. And like, they're sitting there making faces, and she's like, oh, fuck. And Donna's just throwing it away.
Right.
Like, she's just giving her, like, in the big note.
No.
And Rosie's like, bitch,
Right.
we should have rehearsed this. If I would have known you were going to do that, I would have never signed up.
I could
But it
not
was
do
fun.
it.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Right, screw that.
ABBA. I have such a problem with ABBA, I can't even tell you. I went and saw Muriel's Wedding.
Oh, it is. Oh my God.
And
I
all
love
you had to do
Muriel's
was
Wedding.
substitute Donna Summer for ABBA, and you had me. But I went home because I liked a couple songs in there, and I was like, I wonder if I have any ABBA records. Oh, I have all of them. Like, I was a fucking ABBA nut. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with
I'm
5
not
or 6
surprised
ABBA
by
albums?
This. How are you
I
surprised
was.
by that?
And then, after Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and I'm like, I know every motherfucking song.
Yeah.
So then, I the surprises got less and less. When I went and saw Mamma Mia, and I'm like, fucking shit, I know every word
Everyone.
to every goddamn song.
We listened to ABBA Gold. That's one of our
Road trip.
Road trip.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, that's
and
one
it
of our
gets,
road trips.
and an hour and 10 minutes
Yeah.
goes by that you're like, oh, have I been driving?
Yeah. Yeah, we just
Because it's 2 or
absolutely
3
love it.
times through Chiquitita. And I can hear those drums, Fernando.
No, completely.
And in a really compassionate mood, I can sit through Thank You for the Music without wanting to, like, sue PETA. Because I hate that fucking song. And then in a gas station one time, I found, like, the songs that didn't make it to the Greatest Hits album that were great. So it has The Visitors, and I think it has On and On and On. But it's got, like, 4 songs.
I don't think I know those. I mean, I'd have to hear them.
The Visitors was a big club hit in, like, 1983, 84. And it was a huge, like, in the clubs. I don't know that it ever got played on the radio.
Okay.
But it was one of those songs that in the gay bars in Buffalo, when that song came
You said
on, like everybody.
1983, I was in 8th grade. So...
Okay, settle down. I was in 10th grade.
Well, you were in the clubs and I was in 8th grade. So
But it was just so funny to
just
make
saying.
eye contact with anybody as soon as you heard that opening.
I'm the youngest here tonight, so I just
Yeah.
wanted to play the role of Cat. Thank you.
All right. Same finger. Different lady. So anyways, when you would hear that that
Don't
opening
offend Kat.
horn of the Visitors, you would just make eye contact, and it was just implied we're meeting on the day. Like we got some boogieing to do
Right,
to this
right.
song, because that song was so good. It was fast and slow,
Okay.
and it was about being abducted by aliens or something. I don't know. They were the Visitors, but I think it's the album that Thank You for the Music comes from. But I think it was good. Anyways, so that's it. There's not a lot in entertainment tonight, so I got to stretch. But the good
love it,
news
Jenny.
is,
We don't have to stretch for shit. We can end whenever we want.
well, I had a lot to say about that one topic.
okay.
So Netflix. Oh, I used to say I cried
the
because I had
glasses
no
out.
shoes, and then I met a woman without HBO. Now it's Netflix.
You're
Netflix
so
is.
dumb.
Oh my god, I've been saying.
You've been saying it for years.
I've been saying it since high school.
I know, but it's so dumb. It's so funny.
Well, not specifically Netflix, but something
Yeah,
else, because
no,
Netflix
No, it
wasn't
was
around.
always HBO.
Yeah,
I
HBO.
cried because I had no shoes, and then I met a woman that didn't have HBO. That's the original
yeah,
quote. We've just added Netflix
funny.
because of this. Netflix is heading to San Francisco. Today, the streaming service announced they've ordered a follow-up series to Armistead Maupin's Tales of the City.
Oh.
Based on the novels of Maupin, the original 1993 How in the Love of Fuck is the TV show 25 years old. How? Followed a group of people living in San Francisco during the 70s and 80s. The cast included Laura Linney, who, because I watch people win Oscars all the time on YouTube, I forgot that Armistead Maupin was Laura Linney's date to her first Oscar nomination, because he still calls her Marianne. Olympia Dukakis, Barbara Garrick, Thomas Gibson, and Billy Campbell. The series spawned 2 sequels, more Tales of the City, and I think the first one was on PBS and they moved to Showtime. But they lost, and the one, it's Harrison's twin that played Mona. I always forget what her name was. But the original Mona was just Harrison's twin with red hair.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she used to tell people that was her. Chloe, her name's Chloe something.
I remember seeing I saw a story about this story.
Holy shit.
So
Ew.
the revival will feature the return of original stars Laura Linney and Olympia Dukakis, along newcomer Ellen Page. So Ellen Page will
love
be
Ellen
playing.
Page.
Yeah, she'll be playing the daughter of what was Marianne and Brian, but Marianne left. She abandoned them to go be a famous newscaster. So she left and went to New York and left her kid and her husband behind. Although it wasn't really her kid, it was her roommate when she first moved out there's kid that they raised as their own.
Just trying to connect the dots.
So Ellen Page is Shauna, who is their lesbian or transgender. She becomes transgendered. I can't remember, but she gets involved with the transgender community because of Mrs. Madrigal.
Okay.
So it's just fun that they're bringing this out, and there are if you got into Tales of the City and more Tales of the City and further Tales of the City and Baby Cakes and whatever the last 2 books are called, and you lost track, 20 years later, Maupin did 3 more books. He did Marianne and Autumn, which was absolutely beautiful. Michael Tolliver Lives, which I cried at the bookstore when I saw it, because, of course, I think these are real people.
Yes,
I am dangerously disturbed when it comes to the Tales of the City books. I think they're real people living in the city in a real place. And I believe whenever I see Laura Linney, I'm like, Mary Ann Axe, isn't that terrific? Like,
Santa
I cannot
just is white.
I cannot separate her from Mary Ann.
Right.
Like, that is her. So I don't think Laura Linney's an actress. I think Mary Ann became an actress because I'm mentally disturbed.
That's okay.
So when I saw the book, because I had been wondering what happened to Mouse, and I think they stopped calling him Mouse around book 4 and start calling him Michael again. But when I saw that on the bookshelf, like without seeing the author, because the spine just said Michael Tolliver lives, I'm like, oh, he's alive. He made it. And the bookshop owner goes, he was the bookshop owner because there used to be bookshops, was so funny.
right?
He's like, I opened up the case and saw that. And he's like, I just sat and cried.
Oh.
He's like, that's all I needed to know was that Michael Tolliver lives. He's like, I didn't even need to read the book. I was like, he's alive. And I'm like, oh, you share it. And bookstore owners, book enthusiasts know, like, those books were so well written, and you loved those people so much. Very Charles Dickensy. You just enjoyed them so much. And so it's Marianne and Autumn, Michael Tolliver lives, and I can't remember what Mrs. Madrigal's book was called. But just dealing with life, and they're all older, you know, they do it in real time. So Mrs. Madrigal is quite old. She's like 80 or 90 years old. And, you know, Shauna is her caregiver. Marianne goes through breast cancer. Michael has to deal with the fact that he's kind of in charge of the young girl of his business partner.
You wanted to know what Mrs. Madrigal was, what?
What the book was called. It was called, like, Anna Madrigal something or other.
Okay.
Because it's Marianne and Autumn, Michael Tolliver lives, and then the last one, which is in P-Town, I was going to readings, the Amistad Maupin.
The Days of Anna Madrigal?
The Days of Anna Madrigal, that's what we called it. Yeah. And beautifully written.
And then there was a article written in '89, Good Night, Mrs. Madrigal, in the New York Times.
Yeah.
That maybe you would like. I don't know.
And we've talked about him putting the books together, and that's how he met Rock Hudson. He met Rock Hudson through a friend, Armistead Maupin, and he told him in the morning, like they were having drinks with friends, and they were asking, like, why are you all staying up? And he's like, because I think it's the San Francisco Chronicle, my first story will be published. And Rock Hudson stayed up with them. He invited them back to his house to, like, finish out the night of waiting, so they didn't have to sit outside of a newsstand, that they could go back to his house, have the party. And when he read the story, he offered his house to Armistead Maupin to continue writing the Tales of the City because he wanted more of them.
Oh, I love it.
So Rock Hudson, like, on the first day became, like, a Patreon of that. So just
that's fantastic.
Like, there's nothing about the stories that isn't so goddamn fucking charming you can't stand yourself by the end of it. So
I love it.
So I'm curious to see how they go and if they keep going. And Mona doesn't make it, but unfortunately, I had a nervous breakdown about that one. So there you go. So that's coming to Netflix 2019. They're going to start filming soon, and Marianne has a job again. So we're very happy because we've been worried about Marianne. It seems like it's been
very much. Very much.
3-time Oscar nominee, 4-time Emmy winner, Tony nominee, and I still think I don't believe she's a real person.
That's right.
Yeah. I do not believe in her realness. So that's it. And
Who is this Laura Linney you speak of?
I know. I don't know this person, and I don't know for sure that The Handmaid's Tale season 2 is out on Hulu. I have not looked, but the ads make it seem like it started.
I thought it was supposed to be June, but
I don't know. The ads are everywhere, and I'm worried that it's going on, and I'm missing it, and someone's going to spoil it for me.
I really do think it's June,
okay.
But
the ads are now everywhere, and boy, does it look terrific.
Maybe I am wrong, but we'll see. Yeah, well, wait a minute. I'm lying.
So by next week, we'll have the Tony nominations and see if anything gets nominated from the Donna Summer musical. And I'm hoping, I'm sure they are too.
First episode date, April 26th.
Oh, so it's day after tomorrow. Okay. Because I'm thinking they would want to get in by the Emmys.
Yeah, I really did think it was supposed to be in June. But as I'm seeing something here, the season 2, episode 1 is called June. So that might have been where I got that from.
Okay. And Hulu does that bastard thing where they release it each week. They don't release the whole season.
Sure.
It's cruel and unusual.
Yep.
Piggybacking into your little entertainment segment here, here's 2 things. I have absolutely no desire, and I'm almost offended that they remade Overboard.
Oh.
Yeah, that does not look funny. And
it doesn't look
Anna
funny.
Faris.
It doesn't look good. I feel like it's just a slap in the face of a fantastic movie.
Ooh,
There was no need to remake it.
And the guy that's playing her role, like they reversed
the roles, right?
Oh, I do not enjoy him. Yeah, I did. I'm not enjoying him in the trailers at all.
Yeah, no, doesn't look good in the least. Mom, here's a movie though I'm excited to see, and I think it would be a great show to see with my mom, and potentially all of us could go together if we figured it out.
I know what you're gonna say.
The new movie called Book Club
Yep.
with
Oh.
Diane Keaton, Jane Fonda,
Candace Bergen.
Candace
Bergen.
Bergen,
Yep.
and there's one more I can't think of. Steenburgen, isn't it?
Oh, Mary
Yes,
Steenburgen.
yes,
Steenburgen.
yes,
It
uh-huh.
just looks so cute,
Yep.
and I
the-
love all of them. From their it's a cute.
I think
Candace
it looks
Bergen.
great.
Looks fantastic.
I know.
Yeah, she does, but she gets interviewed about like how they all look and how they all get along, and she's like, "We're fine, but Jane Fonda is ridiculous." She's like, "You just feel bad about yourself constantly." She's like, "Her waist is the size of a teacup, and she exercises constantly." And she's like, "And she's gorgeous."
Yeah.
And it was
And what,
so
85?
No, I think she's
84?
80 or 81. She just we've looked this up a few times. I think
We look it up every 7 minutes.
she's like
Right.
December of,
December 21st, 1937.
so she just turned 80.
Okay.
80.
80. She'll
yeah.
be 81 this year.
Yep.
But Candace Bergen's comment, she just makes you feel terrible about yourself. The waist the size of a teacup.
Seriously. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I saw some of the trailers for that, and I was like, oh yeah, I really.
I
Yes,
gotta-
my mom. Yes.
I gotta see if I'm still reading that same Entertainment
That's what
Weekly.
it's called, Nero, the book club.
Yeah,
Yep.
if I'm still reading that Entertainment Weekly, because I meant to tear out that page and bring it in.
Oh.
Because Candace Bergen doesn't talk about anything else but how bad Jane Fonda makes her feel about herself.
Now, is your mom or Mama Di? You can answer this if you get it
Oh my
quickly
God.
enough. Is
Candace Bergen is
47?
Candace Bergen is 10 years younger than Jane Fonda.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What?
But so that's what I was just looking up. Is your mom 47?
Yeah.
Okay, because my mom's 48.
Okay.
And I just saw this with Candace Bergen is 46.
Yeah, born in 46. Yeah.
1946. So, no, that's fun.
God,
okay.
William Shatner's 87. Jesus.
William Shatner doesn't look great.
The fuck?
He's looked bloated for years, hasn't
Oh,
he?
yeah. Because he's 87.
That's true.
He
And
started-
Diane Keaton is 1946 as well.
Yeah.
Always been one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
But the movie, it
Always.
just looks so cute. The previews of it and the premise of, it's almost it's like a
because they're
Stella
reading
Got Her
Grey's
Groove.
Anatomy. They're
right.
reading 50
50
Shades
of Grey.
Reading Grey's Anatomy.
What?
The literary find of a lifetime.
Oh, Nero, this is
I'm sure Kat would have appreciated
Yeah.
that one. No, but
funny.
maybe it's like a Stella Got Her Groove back for old white gals.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mary Steenburgen is 1953, so
She'd be the youngest of all of them.
The baby of the group, right?
And she has been playing older for so long.
Oh.
Because in Parenthood, she was only like 34 years old when she filmed that, and she was playing like a midlife crisis. And
Oh.
I always wanted to, because when she won her Oscar, she would have been like 23 or 24 years old, maybe 25 years old. She was very young and playing old, and she was dowdy the next year. And I'm like, this is what's wrong with your career. She's the Angela Lansbury of the 70s and 80s. Like, why are you playing such old women?
Well, I'm taken aback by Andy Garcia in this movie, in the book club.
I have not seen that.
She won that in 81
was-
for Melvin and Howard.
Oh,
Yeah, she won her Academy Award in 81 for Best Supporting Actress.
for a Jonathan Demme film, Melvin and Howard.
And she's 65, so she'd be in her late 20s?
Yeah, happily married to Ted Danson for centuries.
That's right.
Yeah, and they still show up places.
That is absolutely. I forgot about that.
Cute
That's
as a
right.
button.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
they're
they
really,
really are.
They're the other power couple that's good friends with the Clintons. They keep it under wraps, but
Okay.
she's been a supporter of Clinton since he was a first-term governor.
Oh, I didn't
Like
realize that.
yeah,
Um,
like she was on his campaign trail before she was really on the map as anybody.
okay.
Oh, she's in Time After Time with Roddy McDowall, the time travel movie about Jack the Ripper that I love. I've loved her since I was a little kid. I'm a big fan of Mary Steenburgen, but I feel like she needs to play her age. Like she should be one of these women's daughters.
maybe. I'm not
28.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, like there should be a story behind Grace and Frankie of how an 80-year-old woman has a 30-something-year-old daughter. Like,
Right.
There is some kind of a miracle of conception going on in that story.
And I don't recall, I'm sure they did, I missed it, but do they give their ages?
She's playing 70.
Their characters' ages in that series?
They make her 10 years. They're doing the Mary Tyler Moore thing where they made her at least 10 years younger. And Jane Fonda's about her. I mean, Lily Tomlin's about the same age, but I don't know how far apart they are.
She was in her mid-70s.
But yeah, they lowered the age because she doesn't look. You can't realistically have her play 80.
So Tomlin's 78.
Yeah, I think when she dates Peter, what's his name with the yellow teeth? That's all I ever know him as is Peter with the yellow teeth, the one that's her rich boyfriend.
Jane Fonda's?
Yeah, Jane Fonda's rich boyfriend.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember his name.
Not Court.
No.
He's a wonderful singer. I've seen him on Broadway. He's really good. But he's got the yellowest fucking teeth in America.
Why do I want to say Tommy? It's not Tommy.
It's Peter something or other. Anyways, or it's not Peter. It's me telling the story, so his name's probably Bob. Like she says how old she is more than once in the last season when they're living in the retirement community.
Because he's so much younger. Right. We don't need to be here.
Well, I can't find a picture of him, but he just looks awful in the movie. Andy Garcia does.
She was in Back to the Future 3. That might be when I lost her. Aaron's not in the room, right? I did not enjoy those movies at all.
Which ones? Back to the Future? I did.
I think I may have checked out halfway through number 2.
I don't know about Back to the Future 3.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a third one either.
I'm going to tell you, God bless you, Joe. I had no idea that happened even, but...
Peter Gallagher.
Peter Gallagher.
Oh, sure.
Plays Nick.
Oh, sure.
Oh, that makes sense, because he...
And Gallagher is Latin for yellowest teeth in America.
Now, he was in...
He may have had them white.
He was known for American Beauty in '99, The OC in '03, The Player. He was married to Paula Harwood. He's been married to Paula Harwood since '83.
He did the revival of Guys and Dolls in the early '90s that we get Nathan Lane. Well, we don't really get Nathan Lane from it, but it's when Nathan Lane really got on the map, and he was really good. He did the Marlon Brando part, but he could sing, unlike Marlon Brando. And
he's all over the place. He's done a hell of a lot of stuff.
My parents were very into that revival in Guys and Dolls because they saw it on their honeymoon and they loved the show. And then to have it sung so beautifully on something that sounded so crystal clear on that was a hard soundtrack, a hard cast album to find back in the day. So when they redid it and made a beautiful new recording and videos of them recording it, my parents loved that show. Like it was one of their honeymoon shows.
Sure.
So I in turn have come to love it too.
I love it.
So there you go. Doc
Nice.
Brown's Girlfriend and Eventual Wife. Oh, I wish that didn't sound familiar, but I think I may have seen.
Oh God, Doc Brown.
I may have seen.
Yeah.
This time it's Electric Boogaloo just because of her.
Okay. You know what? if Mary Steenburgen was in 3, then I've seen 3.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize that I had seen that, but I did.
Yeah, because I do tend to go to movies just for her. Oh, well.
Yeah.
So mate.
Now that you say that, Joe, I've got to.
So we'll have a date. 'Cause I think that comes out May 18th, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's correct.
I think I made a note of it in my pad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. That is exciting.
Very cute movie to go see.
So that's it for me in entertainment.
Did you have anything else, sir? For entertainment?
I went this weekend. Invitation. I thought, well, I'll go do it because it was something. Wow, that grape. Wow. Out of that whole batch, that grape was really sour. Woo! Wasn't expecting that. Anyway, a friend invited me to go, so I did because I'm like, I never go do these things. I went to the movies on Saturday afternoon and saw I Feel Pretty. Save your money.
Oh.
Watch it at home on video.
Okay.
I didn't. It was okay. There are a couple things that are funny. Amy Schumer.
Rory something or no?
I forget the other white girl that's playing in her little threesome group that they're friends. And then it's the other gal, the heavyset dark-haired gal from SNL is in it too. I can't think of her name, but she's the one that comes out.
Oh, Adie Bryant.
Adie Bryant. She's in it too. It was okay. It wasn't at all.
Didn't ring your bells.
No.
Kind of a good waste of time, or not even that.
Somebody said it was really funny, and then all the reviews were like, "This is not funny."
Yeah, I didn't think it was terribly funny.
She was on again, what I'm realizing I watch way too much of, but The View. She was on The View, and Amy Schumer, Schumer was, and was talking about the reviews and how that basically it was, from the time she was very little, her family told her, "You're just the most beautiful little girl that anyone's ever seen." She said, and I have continued to believe that for,
right.
And she said, that's what the movie is for. She said, I want every little girl to just believe that they're beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And
But
kind of go with it. Now, I don't know if that...
Some of the situations in the movie, though, it's kind of funny because obviously the premise is she hits her head. She believes that she looks different, though everybody else sees that she's not, but she thinks it is. But to see her overconfidence in certain situations and people look at her like, the fuck are you doing?
Right.
That was kind of funny, especially in the modeling agency that she's in. So there are some funny moments with regards to that because they're like, where do you get this courage? She's like, well, look at me. Like they're like, I am.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they showed a clip in the laundromat where the guy walks up and
right.
And she's like, you want my number?
And he's like, well, just like, what number are you in line?
Yeah. And she's like, give me your phone.
So this is how it works,
Yeah,
huh? This is how it starts. Yeah. But
And I like that it takes fat shaming and kind of turns it on its head. You know what I mean?
Right.
it was kind of fun when she does the wet t-shirt contest in the
funny.
the bikini bar.
Yeah.
Again, couple of funny things, but still for the most part, you're like, yeah, it wasn't worth going to a theater.
It's not that. What's the? Is it just called Spy? What is that Melissa McCarthy movie?
Oh my God, Melissa McCarthy, yes. Spy.
I think I'm up to like my 15th viewing of that movie.
Yeah.
When I'm bored.
My mom said that movie is hilarious.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, it is
Funny.
hysterical from beginning
Yeah.
to end.
Yep.
A cat.
She's so good.
She's
Melissa McCarthy is so good.
Melissa McCarthy
and Rose Byrne, like everybody in that movie is terrific.
Just like Rose Byrne was playing that character, like in
Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids, where she plays the stuffy kind of. Yeah.
And that's one of those movies that like Melissa McCarthy, like every other movie is funny, but that one just hits on all cylinders.
Yeah, it does. Well, the one that she made that I think is an absolute fucking waste of time is Tammy.
Oh, it was awful.
I thought it was.
And her and her husband like wrote that, and he directed it, and it's terrible.
Yep. And
it
just
keeps
think,
my dislike of Susan Sarandon alive. Because as funny as I found Bad Moms, I was not going to see a Bad Moms Christmas. Like Susan Sarandon's not getting any money out of me till it's free.
Okay.
So that thing's coming on something I'm paying for, and that's just part of the package.
Melissa McCarthy showed up,
shit.
I guess last night, and I watched it on YouTube. I didn't watch it on the broadcast, but I guess last night, James Corden did the Christina Aguilera Carpool Karaoke, and Melissa McCarthy shows up in the song, sits up from the back seat, and does an entire rap segment of one of Christine's songs. I don't even know what the fuck it was.
Sure.
But then she rides with them for quite a little while, and at one point they just pull off and she gets out.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, how funny!
But it's cute. But again, you see the amazing vocal talent of Aguilera.
Oh yeah,
sitting there with no enhancement, nothing. Like it's whatever mics are in that vehicle that they've got for it, and it just she rings every bell. And even Corden's like, how do you do it?
Yeah.
How
and
do
she's
you?
one of the ones I like. She's got a great instrument. She just very rarely sings anything I want to hear.
Oh, I like her.
I mean,
but
all like props to like the vocal talent and all she can
sure.
do. But like most of the time, I'm like, just stop.
There was Coco. You've talked about Coco quite a bit, and I haven't seen it yet.
God, it's a good movie.
But it's coming to Netflix in May, and so people are saying now that they are just completely booked up for May. They're like, I'm not doing anything, so you'll have that on Netflix. And the one thing that I'm surprised that you did not say anything about is that Allison Mack. Not because anyone knows who the fuck she is. I don't.
I have no idea.
Or didn't. But she was part of that whole Smallville that for about sex trafficking.
Oh, I saw that, but I didn't
She
know.
was just arrested. Was it yesterday or today?
I didn't know.
Yeah, but it was because of a cult kind of
yeah,
thing.
some sex cult. And apparently she was trying to
lure or get them involved.
Yeah, she was trying to recruit. That's the word I want. Recruit other celebrities in in Hollywood for this. But
Kelly Clarkson was one of them.
I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I haven't delved into the story. I just kind of heard some skimming of the headlines of that.
Yeah, and I was just kind of taken because it made me think of Ashton Kutcher, because that's one of his big, huge causes. Like, I think he would give up acting. I think he would give up everything.
And that's the one thing that him and Demi Moore still have in common is they go off about that.
Yep. And he had started I don't know if it's a call line or a whatever, but I mean it's a really big deal, and I feel like that's connected somehow to this person being turned in, and if it's not, it's my story, so that's what I feel like saying.
Yeah.
I took that from Al.
Yep.
But unbelievable that this gal, she was branding women. Yeah.
What?
I mean,
crazy.
It really is. And this whole Aaron said that there was some documentaries, or maybe it was on 48 Hours or Dateline or something like that, about this. Now that I have Netflix in my head, that's what I feel like calling it, and that's not it. This, where is it? Whatever. NXIVM is the cult, basically. So yeah, to provide, there's this Keith Raniere was arrested last month in Mexico and is in federal custody, and it's about this NXIVM. I don't know, being just a cult as far as getting women. Amazing. Like, it kind of blew my mind that was actually something going on. Not that I knew it was going on, but like when you hear a big name or a name, where you're like, what?
Right. It's all supposed to be underground people that nobody knows about.
Right.
In the shadows of the world.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking, because I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Not for a movie? What's happening? This can't be real. And a secretive sex cult. Fuck that.
Yeah, just crazy. So Coco is May 29th, and then May 30th, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt season 4 starts. So if you need me May 29th or 30th,
don't.
Whatever you think I'm gonna do, that's where I'll be.
Yeah. It is pronounced Nexium. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there was one more movie coming next month that you should know about that starts May 1st. Wait for it. I lost it. It's gonna come to me.
Come to me. Come to me.
Come to me.
Where the fuck did it go? Oh, Amelie is coming to Netflix May 1st. French movie about the matchmaker.
Is it Amelie or Amelie?
Amelie could be either. I'm from New York, so everything is Amelie.
By the way, I don't mean that.
But it's probably Amelie.
Curious.
It's probably Amelie.
Isn't that the watch Al's face? Doesn't that have those subtitles?
Yeah, it's a French movie. It's a French movie, but
he always gets mad at me because I say about subtitles.
It's about the matchmaker, and it is one of the happiest, cutest, most delightful movies.
Yeah.
It's just filled with love and joy, and it will just make you happy. And it's how what's her butt, whatever that French lady's name is. She was in one of the
Amelie's.
Yeah, she was in one of the she's in the fucking A. She's Sophie in the Da Vinci Code.
Oh.
And she is in one of the best movies ever made. He Loves Me, He Loves Me Not. So watch Amelie first, fall in love with her, and then
Audrey Tautou,
and then watch He Loves Me, He Loves Me Not. It is one of the greatest movies of all time and one of the best twists I have ever seen.
Interesting.
She's got some good ass movies, but Amelie is where you fall in love with her and you just want to spend the rest of your life with her. She's just a delightful little pixie. So there you go.
I think I'm with Nero, but yeah, sounds delightful.
Well, he speaks like 4 languages. He doesn't need to watch subtitles.
Who's he?
God damn it. She.
Does it for real?
Yeah, every time.
Every time. God, I do my best.
And I have it written down right here too. That's the best part. It's written in front of me, and I still do it.
Don't refer to your materials. My God.
I do my best.
I know, and I always get that wrong.
I can't.
I feel like I should print it out, and it should be really big, and we should put it up there on a camera shot, so you can just look up and reference the.
It doesn't help though.
Yeah,
it's the
Jenny,
first thing.
I'm with you. I'm with you, and he's gonna get mad at you now, and that's awesome.
No, I know it's hard to get used to.
It's not hard. It's just for real.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
But the movies are so good that it's so worth it. Foreign movies are very often just so good.
I get so like I have that whole squirrel complex anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So now you want me to watch a movie and pay attention to what's going on there, and read?
Yeah.
Fuck that. That's multitasking.
It is.
I can't.
And
I
it
just can't.
Yeah. They're not all winners, but when they're good, they're good.
No.
And I
that's
sat
fair.
through that shitty Life is Beautiful. That was one movie.
I was just gonna say to you, what about Life is Beautiful?
The movie where I actually rooted for the Nazis.
You get so funny about that. It's great.
All right. Well, Kat's not here for two things, so I'm over that. I don't think we need a thoughtful unless you
No, I'm
guys
good.
get some burning situation.
Whatever you want.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
We're gonna still shorten this little show. Get out of here. Get out of this. Our first show of season 7. There will be breaks, so get ready. We already know that we're down 2 weeks in June.
See, that's what I said, Nero.
That's a fair point, Nero. That's a really fair point.
That is actually quite
Yep.
funny.
But
I like
Nero,
it.
Nero, you well, I know you speak English, clearly, because you're
Right.
listening to this,
There's
and we
that.
don't have subtitles.
Well,
We
can you
need it
imagine?
sometimes now.
And this is what we kept asking in Italy. So, Nero, how many languages do you speak?
Can you do it in 15 seconds? Please hurry it up.
That'll take 20.
No, don't. We don't have much time.
They're on the delay. Well, no, it'll still come up in the board.
Oh, that'll be right. All right. Well, as we wrap up tonight's show, let's leave you with this parting thought. We will see you next Tuesday.
David, what does burning smell like?